See.
Oh, me.
Me? Alright, I'm gonna go with...
Going down
the
black.
hero list here.
Yep. I'm ready to write it down.
Offlane, Doom.
Oh, we actually... This is probably one of the first times I haven't seen Doom banned within the first round.
Yeah, Doom is a very strong hero. Like we saw last game, how much impact he had. And in China, he's actually very prioritized. Like they first two him pretty much every game, just because of how much late game insurance he gives you. You build for this Midas, you scale incredibly well, and in this late game when you have the refresher orb, it's basically just -2 heroes.
Is Doom pretty much going to be picked up by either team if we don't see it get banned out in this phase?
Probably not TNC because Bo3 really likes his offlane Dragonite, but they could still put the Doom middle if they wanted to.
Okay. So the Doom is looking pretty good. Alright, so you got Doom down for your predictions. What else? You got two more.
I couldn't wiggle my way out of there. Okay,
oh no, my Spectre's been banned.
No. Ursa. Doom Ursa and mid-lash. Actually, no, I'm not gonna say Doom, I'm gonna say Darkseer Ursa.
10 seconds remaining.
Darkseer Ursa. And
5 seconds
something
remaining.
cool. What's cool? Tusk.
And a Tusk, okay. I mean, the Tusk, the Ursa so far is probably the only prediction that I'm like, haven't really seen this qualifier personally. But let's have a little bit of a focus on the bans as well. We see the Medusa come out. I feel like that makes sense. Fnatic have been kind of looking at picking Medusa a fair amount. And then obviously the Spectre and the TA ban, as well as the Brood all the way back in the first phase. But that makes sense, those three very much, as well as Terrorblade. And you've already gotten... you already got one.
We're both so wrong. We're both so wrong.
Well, GoDz, tell me why the Luna pick here, do you think?
They've kind of taken out most of the meta carries, and also the carries that cause Luna problems. TB's the obvious Luna counter, so they kind of set themselves up to have a good Luna game. I think they're also worried if they don't pick it now, potentially TNC take it for themselves. I think Luna's just been underpicked. It's a great, super fast flash farming carry, but also a carry that has a strong laning stage, unlike some of the other carries, and can teamfight pretty well early if you want to go for the Lucent Beam Eclipse build. Yeah, the Fnatic draft is actually pretty solid. They also banned the Spectre, probably also for the Luna, and for the Leshrac as well, of course. Once you get his Blade Mail, you're a menace for them. But they have a very strong pushing draft already here with the Leshrac and Luna. They can 5-man very early and put on a lot of pressure on the map.
So then, are we going to be seeing Fnatic go for that more early game sort of draft, and then TNC perhaps might try and go for a stronger late game? Do you think that's what's going to happen here, Black?
Potentially. It's just the problem is a lot of hyper carries are not really good right now. The really good ones are already banned out, so it's going to be somewhat difficult to match this Luna, especially if Fnatic want to pick up a more skating offlaner like the Doom or potentially even the Darkseer.
All the meta carries are gone with Medusa, TB, Spectre, and then Luna picked up. I mean, there's some others which are pretty good. We've seen Lifestealer be successful, but
there's Juggernaut.
Okay, they are going to go Lifestealer. There we go.
I was going to say, just as you bring it up.
All right.
Lifestealer? I mean, it's a good hero. It's good against all the heroes Fnatic has. I'm just a little bit worried that like Fnatic has the last pick, right? They're going to counter this Lifestealer in the lane.
Yeah, I guess the nice thing is you can immediately protect. They ban Slardar. They're going to ban the heroes that cause Lifestealer the biggest problems, at least with two of their bans.
Yeah, which is Slardar. What is the other one? Like Lifestealer is so strong in lane, it's very hard to.
Maybe? Like Def loves playing Legion Commander. I don't know.
You kind of beat Legion in lane, but yeah, Def likes to play it. What is it? Maybe some Wind Ranger or something, like annoying. I don't know. Nobody really picks that, I guess.
Do they want to go for someone that could, you know, just slowly poke away at heroes, just slowly chipping down their health, just trying to be annoying really early game? Do you think?
Possibly. But it's gonna... It looks like a Nyx 4, right? And a Baden... Could this be a Baden offlane? No, that wouldn't make sense.
Well, and of course, Black, they can just put Leshrac in the offlane role and pick a mid last if they... Because they're going to know the mid matchup. They may see what... They're going to see Armel's hero and be like, okay, do we want to send Lesh mid? Or do we want to send our last pick? So they can flex this Leshrac to multiple lanes.
They did ban out the Legion Commander that we spoke about.
And the Doom is also gone as well. Yep. Unfortunately. but it makes sense. If I was either of these teams, I would not want it to go through, especially after seeing its performance that it's had. But I also know I talked to you yesterday, GoDz, about the Batrider. You kind of talked me out of believing in it, and then it got picked up today. Do you think, not potentially in this game, but at all in this series, that we can see a Batrider come out? Is there the possibility of a strength showing Batrider?
Yeah, for sure. The hero has a place in the meta. It's usually as a counter pick for these like melee heroes like the TAs and stuff that you want to pick it into. Against Abaddon, I don't think you want to play Batrider, so I don't think TNC's picking it. Fnatic, I mean, I don't know. Against DK, against Lifestealer, it's not great in lane. Against DK, it's fine, but we'll see. It probably depends what TNC.
Yeah, as you said, this game is a little unlikely. They already have pretty good answers in both teams.
5 seconds.
TNC. I don't think Armel. I mean, he plays a good Dragon Knight, of course, but I don't think it's a hero he excels on.
Yeah,
I like him more on
he
these.
Doesn't want to play it. Yeah, he's like, this is a series against Fnatic. He's not asking for the DK. He's asking for the puck. That's what he's asking.
I thought I heard you say puck, and I was like, whoa, hasn't been banned. I feel like surely it's going to come out. It just kind of makes sense. But with that puck, what's Fnatic going to be picking Black to counter that one?
Well, now they have a lot of options. They already sort of have it countered with the Nyx Assassin. Leshrac lanes decently against puck, but they could also just put it against the Lifestealer and pick another mid hero that... What could that be?
I feel like they need something to kind of be tanky in the front. Like, the supports Abaddon kind of does it, but they want like some kind of, traditional offlaner. Who's the Aura bot? Leshrac in the offlane can be that, but I feel like there is a decent amount of damage on the TNC side where they can just blow up this Leshrac. They've got both magical and physical damage.
It's a little hard to find a good offlaner though against Lifestealer that can be this Aura bot.
Yeah.
Because he's really good against all these melees.
Except for the ones that are banned, the Slaughter and the Legion. So, well, it's Legion he's fine against. But
what about a Beastmaster? Would go really well with the Luna. The draft overall, you have a BKB piercing stun. It doesn't lane terribly against Lifestealer. I don't know if Def likes that sort of hero.
Yeah, I don't think he's known for it. I never heard Ponlo mentioned it. I think the team that was playing Beastmaster was KP on SMG, so...
Tidehunter, okay, that's more of a Def hero for sure. Isn't that great against Lifestealer though? Like, at all.
It's not great, you're saying. Yeah. It feels like Gabby's gonna have a free lane, but perhaps it fits the game. It's like, here's this big tanky frontliner, could build the auras, gonna give them the team fight, and we've seen, these games are going 50 minutes, and if you're going 50 minutes, having a Tidehunter with his team fight potential, you're feeling like you want to pick some kind of late game hero there.
Yeah, Fnatic looks like a really strong sort of late game here, but I am going to side with TNC for this one. I just really like the look of Lifestealer as well as Lion. Lion's actually now one of the most picked heroes throughout the TI qualifiers, which is pretty insane. Absolutely skyrocketed there. But GoDz, which team do you want to go for, and do you want to give me a time prediction again for how long you think this game's going to go for?
I feel like Fnatic, similar to TNC, going to be able to do well in the lifesteal lane. I think Fnatic's safe lane looks really good with this Luna. I think it's a great pick against the offlane DK. You've got magic damage, you have the range, you've got an Abaddon support, so I think Fnatic may be able to snowball with this Luna, and I think Luna's going to be able to farm faster than Lifestealer, so I think Fnatic might win this one in quicker than 40 minutes. We may see an actual...
Quicker than 40, wow. What a prediction.
That's a big... Yeah. Where are you going to sit with this one then, Black?
I also think Fnatic's draft looks really good. Because Abaddon answers a lot of problems they've had. And just overall, the draft looks a little bit more solid. I'm going to say 35 minutes.
Okay, you guys are going for both of you are going for a very quick game, but I'll let you jump into game number 1, and I'm looking to see you guys back here in hopefully 40 minutes.
Alright, thanks Nat. Wow, I love that we've got to a point, Black, where we're talking about a 35-minute game being quick, and with how these SEA qualifiers go, a 35-minute game is definitely a quick game.
I mean, yeah, like all of these teams are definitely taking the term "let's play it safe, guys," to another level. We're playing it super safe every time. High ground, 5v3. Let's go back, boys. We're gonna find the jungle a little bit. Like definitely, if that was like an online qualifier for another tournament, they would be playing way more aggressively. But you can understand them.
Yeah,
it's just
you've played TI qualifiers a few times. Did you get that kind of feel whenever you played TI qualifiers compared to a normal tournament that things were a lot slower and safer.
Especially the first time, yes, but after that, I honestly kind of got annoyed with a lot of my teammates because they've kind of fell into the same pattern. I was like, yo guys, we can't be this scared. I know there's a lot on the line, but we gotta play properly, you know, because a lot of wins actually slip away or become quote-unquote like risky wins because you're not pressuring when you should be pressuring. We have seen it a lot in this qualifier as well, where the team that's ahead and should be pressuring is just happy farming and the other team comes back because of it.
We'll see what the approach is going to be here. Perhaps that's a takeaway for Fnatic, because at least going back to day one, were you with me when we cast the Omega? I think that was with Palmo, but they were just losing the early games. Yeah, they were really struggling in the laning stage, and it felt like Fnatic were this, let's sit back and just win late, which they've kind of got decent late game with a Luna Tide, but I don't think they want to just play a passive game here.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, Luna wants to get 2-3 items fast, they just group up together. Why does Lifestealer still weak? Because if they're both equally farmed as Lifestealer and Luna, Lifestealer will win that matchup pretty handily.
We've got two great vehicles, both Puck and Dragonite with a, it's an offlane DK. We're going to see a Blink Dagger, so the scaling for TNC late game, it feels like we'll have an edge.
Yeah, I would agree. It's just, I think the pace might be a little bit too fast for them. That's why I chose Fnatic early on. Like, Puck won't really have an easy time cutting waves to delay tower pushes because of the Nyx Assassin. They have Edict, Luna, even Abaddon with the Curse of Avernus is a really good pushing support.
I love the meta development here. We've got supports putting sentries on the small camps by mid lane. So this Puck doesn't have a neutral camp next to this small lane. And it's just, I'm going to spend 50 gold in a sentry to deny you maybe 2 small camp farms, and that's going to deny this mid laner more than 50 gold.
Yeah, might even be more than 2. Like, a lot of people just farm them like every minute. Might be 3 or 4. Especially this new sentry ward lasts 8 minutes, which is kind of insane.
I'm gonna force the Puck or somebody on Puck's team to buy a sentry to get rid of it. Like you say, lasting 8 minutes. You can't just have it left there. So, definitely it's been the meta with supports going out to lane with like 2-3 sentries sometimes and just using them to block camps early on.
Yeah, I hate that in ranked matchmaking. When there's like this tryhard support on the enemy team, he just does that. I'm like, yo, bro, it's matchmaking, man. Relax. You don't have to do this, you know?
Looking like a true carry player, Mr. Anti-Mate. Where are my neutral camps?
Yeah.
And you're a carry player, you're like, I'm not buying sentries, those things cost 50 gold. You don't get money back when you deward a sentry, it's not worth it.
I only buy sentries for ops, exactly. If there's a sentry, I'm like, hey, Oracle, I got a sentry. Thank you. Or when I play against TI, I do it too because you get money back. You don't get money.
Okay, pressure down bottom, forced to pop his Fairy Fire. As they wants a Stroke of Fate if he pops his Mango, but him's not wanting to go. Wants to hold on.
How did CS looking then? Mid lane very even. Lifestealer tight also very, like all lanes are very even right now.
This has been the theme with this region as a whole. Like, it feels like all the teams are so evenly matched, skill-wise, player-wise. Every lane, it's just like all 3 cores on both teams getting farm. No one crushing any one given lane. Perhaps that's going to change a little bit down bottom if Fnatic want to go for like 4 points in the Lucent theme, but even then, DK can easily sustain with Dragon Blood.
DJ, just be careful here. Never Dragon Tail.
Preemptively shields, gets Dragon Tailed after the shield, taking a lot of damage. I don't think he's going to die here, but he is taking a lot of damage and not dishing any back.
Yeah, there's some region coming with the courier though for the Fnatic side, so they should be able to sustain no problem. And I guess Tidehunter against Lifestealer is actually not that bad, right? You just kind of free farm yourself also because of the Anchor Smash. Because Lifestealers don't really build into Rage anymore, right? Like, you just skill the passives nowadays.
Yeah. Definitely.
Jabs
going a bit aggressive here, but it doesn't feel like top lane's the lane we're going to see any action or kills in. But more likely that, unless we see the mid laners rotate, but down bottom potentially where we could see some action once he's... I mean, we've already seen a bit more action there with the Abaddon and the Grimstroke trading blows with the Inkswell being used.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a more passive early game for both until the Puck and Lesher come online. Probably start rotating to the side lanes.
That's the one lane that's starting to swing one way. The mid lane is going TNC's way now. Battle going out with some of these runes here. Nyx and Lion trading blows down bottom. Abaddon and Grimstroke were trading blows, but yeah, the Puck, Leshrac, Ormel, just, you know, one of the most mechanically solid mid laners, and we've seen a bit with Fnatic's game. Sometimes Chuan, amazing in the mid to late game, but his laning, sometimes he does slightly lose his lane.
Yeah, I mean, especially on a Leshrac, who starts with like, you know, 48 base damage or something, it can be a little bit iffy sometimes to get the lane the way you really want it to. But once he gets level 6, he'll just be able to farm jungle, no problem.
Tries to land a stun on Armel, but Armel nicely sidesteps it.
Yeah, as you said, he's a really, really talented player. One of the best, if not even the best mid laner, just mechanically, in SEA.
Yeah, SEA is the region for mid laners. I mean, it is one of SEA's biggest exports. You look at some of the top teams in the world. I bet in the past mid one, you've got nothing to say on LGD. This is a region filled with talented mids, and I feel like talented core positions. There are just so many of these mechanically skilled players.
I think that's the key word here, talent. Like, this region always had so much talent, it's just they have a very hard time getting it all together and finding like a voice that can put it all to work together, right? Which is why they are also migrating out other teams, because other regions have really good captains, which is SEA is lacking.
Yep. And it's perhaps starting to change a bit, because, you know, even though only one SEA team qualified for TI, we had some success stories with T1 at the recent major, Neon at the Singapore major. Boomy has the stick charge, just going to heal him up a bit. Does Death have another anchor smash? Needs to get close enough. The Carapace is there, and he gets out of range, so looks like Boomy will survive. And the TP coming in from the Grimstroke.
Interesting TP.
They can actually get on top of them, yeah.
Was very late.
Bok said he's fine bottom, yeah.
I mean, Bok is definitely fine bottom, like they won't be able to kill him, but this also means that Luna is going to be completely free farming. And this offlane Dragon Knight has become such a menace in all these games. You just can't harass him down. It's too much HP region. 17.3 right now.
Oh, mid lane, the double support rotation. This is why perhaps the Grimstroke kind of came in, but they've got the Pulse Nova, so he's actually going to turn around, and Chuan gets the first blood for himself. It was the rotation for the 6-minute rune, and good support just ran into a Leshrac Pulse Nova and just melted.
Yeah, level 3 Edict plus Pulse Nova. Just way too much damage to handle, which is exactly why Leshrac is so popular nowadays. You can get away with just 1 level lightning stun because of the bottle, so many runes to refill everything, and then you just start scaling very well with Edict.
Yep. That's a nice kill for Leshrac, who was, you know, slightly behind in this mid lane. Not losing by any means, but getting that first blood injection gonna really help out Chuan's game.
Yep. Def is starting to struggle a little bit against his lifesteal now, who of course, every right click on a Titan just deals a ton of damage to him. Leshrac is there though.
Is where this thing gets hard. Yeah, he popped the rage and everything. He needs to infest out, but the Ravage is there. Great bait, Death! What a sick play from him. The new Fnatic offlaner showing off a bit there.
Interesting that Gabby used Ravage to be a little bit aggressive. I guess he didn't expect the rotation to come in at all.
Looked like he was trying to find a creep to infest into. Like, as soon as he popped that aggressive rage, he's like, he realized what was about to maybe happen to him, but get the infest off in time.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate, because there was the lane they were supposed to be winning at least. He's TPing bottom now. His lifesteal, okay. They want to start pressing the tower with the Dragon Form. And they have no Ravage, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to defend this one. Tidehunter also pretty low on health. And no Eclipse available.
Yeah, no Eclipse. So going for a 2-2-2 build. Probably just going to max the glaives and not get Eclipse until level 9, level 10.
Yeah.
You know, it's Luna.
We see a lot of Lunas even just go 1 level in beam and just max the 2 passives. They want to go super greedy.
Like, you need someone to defend this mid lane, and there, yeah, here we go. TP gonna come in from the Puck. A Leshrac level 4 Edict will melt this tower in no time at all, and they don't have a glyph here, so that Edict gets the tower down to half health, and Tail onto Armel. He's in some trouble, but he's gonna look to turn and fight with a TP coming in from Bok. The coil is there, he shields after the stun. Great defensive play from DJ, who's trying to buy time for Leshrac to get to the regen room, but it doesn't look like he's gonna do so with Gabby investing on in. The regen's gonna be claimed by Armel, and they're gonna get DJ as well. They get a couple of kills there. Grimstroke died elsewhere, but a great rotation from TNC to defend their mid lane.
Yeah, it was a very quick rotation. Lifesteal TP'd bottom. They probably thought he doesn't have a TP, so he just infests into the Dragon Knight, who then TP's middle. Gives him a free taxi. Very quick movement here from TNC. Kind of stall this early game out a little bit more.
And See if TNC can get this mid tier 1 tower. You gotta imagine Fnatic probably want to defend this one, right, Black?
100%. Like, this mid tower is so important, you can't give it up this early.
Nick's trying to drag creeps off. Luckily, there's no Dragon Form and not really the strongest pushing potential from these TNC heroes. Stack's being stolen. TNC have walked into this jungle and found, I believe, a triple stack there. Neutral item. Someone get it up! Oh, DJ just stole the neutral item, I believe. Xuan is going to hit the Split Earth onto the Dragon Knight. Look to bring him down with a Pulse Nova damage. They're going to be one neutral item short until the 17-minute mark. Is Armel going to get ravaged in the mid lane as well? They bring down the puck. Great find for Fnatic. They punish them at that neutral stack.
Yeah, the attempt to steal the stacks weren't fast enough. And DK just kind of wanders off alone, stuns the Lash, who gets shielded, and dies to him. A little bit of a miscommunication there, and as you said, Arcane Ring has been stolen by the Abaddon.
Yeah,
which is a pretty big
item
too for them.
Kill. Yeah, the tier 1s is where it's now there's going to be 5 on the Radiant team and none, oh sorry, well 3, sorry, none right now, but 3 soon on TNC.
Yeah, definitely going to be a big problem.
Oh. Raven, meanwhile, while this is all going on, just farming away top. Got a 3rd point in Luna Blessing. Is this the I feel like I've usually seen the Glaives. Is this another way to build the Luna with the passive, or the second passive?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this either. If your goal is to just farm, hold that thought. Walk might be in a little bit of trouble.
Gosh, follow up. They've body blocks, jabs. Oh, no movement for you, sir.
A 3rd level onto Beam also. So he's all over the place with his skill build.
the smorgasbord of skill points. Bit of everything. Mid lane DJ doesn't have level 6 yet. Gets coiled. Armel committing a lot for this Abaddon. Can he actually get him? Yeah, he will. Had the stroke of fate if needed as well, but he got the kill before it came in with the Siege Wagon. They will take this tier 1 mid tower. Question is, can Fnatic punish this? Can they get denied? No, they can't. And Fnatic will watch their tier 1 mid fall.
Yeah, these teamfights are going to be a little bit of a problem for TNC. They don't have a huge amount of damage, and Leshrac itemized into a hood. He has an Abaddon behind him. It's going to be very hard to take down this Leshrac, who will deal a ton of damage just by being next to you. How do you deal with this guy right now?
Yeah, I guess the idea is the lifesteal is going to get farmed enough, and you just use the rage to fight the Leshrac, because Leshrac is not going to be that protected against the physical damage. I guess that's one thing that TNC have going for them.
That is true, and he just finishes Armlet as well. There's a smoke coming down here by Puck and Lion. Potentially looking for this Lash, but he's already protected by the Abaddon.
Fnatic deward the area as well as Jabs goes running in. He needs to be careful. There's a Sentry Ward nearby. There's a couple Sentry Wards down this bottom lane. They pop another one and they're going to get the Hex. They find Jabs, Boomy ready.
Wow, he gave him the instant
one
treatment.
down this bottom lane. Yeah.
He gave him everything. Wasn't even that concerned about the finger stack. Still gets it in the end, but yeah. Def is taking top lane. Not the biggest fan of it, to be honest. I feel like Luna should be taking the top farm. I feel Tide is kind of stealing it away from her.
Definitely for a while we saw Raven there, but now Raven's kind of gone back to the triangle where there aren't any stacks. That's one thing Fnatic, it feels like, you know, they were so busy and focused on these lanes, they didn't have time to create those ancient stacks to really accelerate the Luna's farm.
Yeah, and also because of his skill build and the way Fnatic is playing the map, he's actually behind the Lifestealer in gold, which is very strange. Not something you usually see.
Yeah, this Lifestealer even has the death to his name and still slightly ahead. Perhaps some of that tower gold is part of the reason why, but what Fnatic's next move is going to be? They have to be able to take down this tier 1 mid tower despite the Leshrac edict, and maybe something they want to set their eyes on fairly soon.
100%. Lash is so strong right now with this Abaddon. They have a Ravage as well.
Well, I'm going to be playing in the trees.
It's so dirty.
Tide Hunter Ravage to kind of help him out here. They get the deny. TNC, no, they can't defend it, but they can deny it, so.
They're chasing the buck here.
Yep. Oh, Jabs tried to carapace, but he got the Impale instead. Ravage follow-up. Armel, he face shifted. Armel, can he jaunt away? No, he got the coil out. Does still go down here. Is there any follow-up from TNC? They get the Impale out onto Xuan on the Leshrac. The nice 2-hero Soulbind. Pulls in DJ. DJ getting stunned up. Now he gets Hex as well. He can't help out his buddy. They pick out the Leshrac with with the Gabby lifestealer rotation. They want Jabs now as well, who doesn't have a carapace for a couple of seconds. Gabby has to be careful. He infests into Bok, negating the Eclipse damage. Now the Breathe Fire doing some decent damage to get Raven low, force him back. They lose Lion on the backlines here. Death is just unkillable, at least to a certain extent. He may now find himself in the middle of 4 heroes. What can he do about it with the puck respawning? It could spell trouble for him. Nice stun coming out onto Tim's as they are going to bring him down as well. Jab's happy to throw away his life to buy some space for them to get out as well, secure an extra kill. Death on the run. He's going to get caught by a Dragon Tail if Bok can get enraged. It doesn't look like that's the case, so messy fight in the mid lane and kind of an even trade in the end, it feels like.
Yeah, and this Tidehunter just seems to be nigh unkillable. This DJ Abaddon constantly shielding and healing him. Lifesteal is a decent answer to him, but even he couldn't even put a dent into him. Half health was all they got. Lifestealer still needs probably to finish his Skadi first before he really starts dealing some damage, which is quite a long time away. But he's the big winner of this teamfight. He got a couple of kills and now leading the net worth chart as well. Luna needs to be keeping up the pace here. In fact, he should be ahead of the pace of the Lifestealer. He's really not.
Definitely feels different to so many Luna games. The Luna games I feel like I saw in the earlier regions, it was just let's stack, let's just farm jungle, max claves, mid lane. Smoke rotation, they find the Abaddon. This is the perfect cure to scout a smoke. They're not even going to bother rocking the borrowed time. They just say, okay, well, let's just pull back, reposition, and maybe try to take some farm that we can.
Yeah, Lash also finished his defensive tool. The Yule Scepter. So he'll be a little bit more survivable. But this is a little bit concerning. Like, they have a 1k gold lead right now, but...
Babs, mid lane, he's thought he was safe here, but
again,
he had his own sentry, and that's why he thought he was safe, but the Dire sentry was just out of range, so...
Yeah. I mean, sentries are insane right now. They're so cheap, they last for so long. Playing Invis heroes is harder than ever, it feels like.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
You know, hub players rejoice. Nobody likes a Ricky figure.
Yeah.
Hub.
Ricky or Nyx Assassin also. Most annoying cockroach ever.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, a lot of pub players are happy these days that, you know, the Shadowblade Slark is out of the meta.
Yeah.
Another thing you see as much.
I mean, I'm guilty of picking a lot of Nyx too, so... I'm one of those guys. MMR over honor.
Dota players, hey, you know, that's definitely Dota players in a nutshell.
Yeah.
As far as this game goes, things feel pretty even. Like, you know, up 35, not going to be in a long game prediction, not looking too hot right now. This feels like a game that has that potential to go late. Even some of these items we've seen being queued up, like Grimstroke has the Axe queued up to try and, you know, deal with the Luna. Like, it does feel like both teams are expecting this one to slow down. Well, it already has slowed down.
Yeah, late game should definitely be in the favor of TNC though. So not having any sort of gold lead here is a little bit concerning for Fnatic. I thought they would be ahead by at least like 3-4k at this point.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
TNC can make up for their lost neutral item, as they'll be getting these tier 2s out now, and Fnatic are eyeing off this top lane. I think feeling like you say, they need to get perhaps a bit further ahead. They want a tier 2 tower, they want to be able to take these enemy outposts, and then usually what follows that is taking Roshan. We'll have to see if TNC have a response for that one. It looks like they will try and TP and defend this one, Black.
Yeah, well, at the least they want to spam out the wave so they can't get the tower for free. But they're very survivable with the Abaddon behind them. They have to be careful they don't get caught up by the Nyx Assassin here.
I do have a sentry in the lane, so Nyx cannot necessarily rely on that Vendetta. Going behind the tower, anything. Puck just blinking to clear some creeps. They follow up with a Dragon Tail. This should get shielded off. Schwan kept alive here. Bok knives 2 heroes. Soulbind coming in from the Grimstroke. The Ravage from Death with the Blink reveal. He goes jumping in. They're going to look to try and burst down Bok. Gabby with a nice little infest play to keep him alive a little bit long, but he still ends up going down and out. Sims in the middle of things. Too far forward. Puck still trying to nuke him down. Gets the Nyx Assassin low, but it's not enough damage to kill off Jabs, who gets healed up by DJ, and Fnatic will get the tier 2 tower. That'll let them back off unscathed. No casualties on the Fnatic side.
Yeah, very well played by them. And right now they definitely have the teamfight prowess. We saw it there. They just don't have the damage to kill this Tidehunter or the Leshrac or really anyone. Like, this Abaddon is just keeping everybody alive. DJ is doing a very good job using his spells properly. Like, he's never using them wrongly. He's not shielding the wrong target or healing the wrong target at all. It just doesn't feel like TNC have the damage to kill anyone yet.
Meta where even supports are doing everything they can to tank up to survive, like Abaddon with the casual fluffy hat, Nyx Assassin, same thing. That's the support life these days.
Oh, yeah, we see so many fluffy hats just casually bought on pretty much every support nowadays, as you said. Sometimes 2. Anyone here with 2? No, only 1.
No, like, tiny type heroes that are instantly jumping and trying to burst. I mean, I guess Puck is similar at times, but Abaddon doesn't have to worry about the burst as much.
Yep, and Luna is now on par with the Lifestealer. Finally getting his efficiency going here. And Tim's how close is to the axe? Very far away still. It's gonna be such a big problem for them to deal with. This Dark Portrait Luna. They don't really have a good way of clearing illusions at all with the right clicks. Most of the damage is magic.
Yeah, it feels like Raven's gonna have to consider his itemization even about, like, often you want to go like maybe for the butterfly on Luna against the Lifestealer, but if you get that against the Dark Portrait, your illusion's just going to be almost unkillable.
And I like the decisiveness here from TNC. They know they have no Ravage right now, so they can't really win a team fight, and you just take the tower, make the map a little bit smaller for Fnatic, make them feel uncomfortable. A lot of teams would just go back and farm, not TNC though.
Especially with this potential Roche fight coming up, both teams are getting as much vision as they can around the area.
Yep.
I with a kind of unorthodox ward as well around that Roshan pit. I like it a lot. It's giving them some good intel, and it's very unlikely to be dewarded. I don't know if it scouted this smoke, as Fnatic have smoked up themselves, heading towards that mid lane, probably looking for a pickoff that will allow them to go to the Roshan pit. TNC themselves is smoked up. Both teams trying to look to see what they can find. Chuan is showing in this mid lane, while his teammates lurk around.
Yeah, they both have the same idea right now, so they're just completely avoiding each other. They're doing the opposite moves. But yeah, this Observer Ward
don't want to go on Lash. Yeah.
They don't. Like, Lash is way too hard to kill now. He has a Sanch as well. They're just going into the pit. Ravage is available, so why not? This team fight is gonna be hard for TNC. If they can win it though, I think they have a very good foothold in this game.
They scout it out. They throw out the orb and instantly Fnatic, as they notice TNC moving over, going to back off for now. They've managed to keep both, well, mid lane's kind of being pushed out by both sides, but top lane's being pushed out by the Luna Manta illusions to constantly put pressure on TNC to address things, but it does seem like both teams are going to back out of the pit.
I like this out-of-the-box thinking here from Death, going for an Orchid on Tidehunter just to deal with the Lifestealer and Puck. It makes a lot of sense, because they won't be building into any sort of dispel. It will make him way less tanky, but he will be very much more capable in the offensive department.
It's such a funny pickup, because usually, like, you know, if you're playing Puck into a mid hero, like a Storm that's going Orchid, you might get a Yules, but you don't expect it out of the Tide, so even though they see maybe this Oblivion stuff, it doesn't, you know, like you say, Lifestealer and Puck not going into any kind of dispel right now.
Yeah, they're like, what is that? Echo Saber? Oh. I think this is a very rare item pickup, right, on Tide? I don't think we see it almost ever.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
It
was the other day we saw one, we saw Bloodthorn. I can't remember what hero it was, but there was a really, I think it was maybe a Dragon Knight that went like Bloodthorn against a Lifestealer and completely, the silence like made his life.
Well, I remember the game. There was Raven. What hero did he play? I don't remember. I remember the game you're talking about.
Yeah.
And Bloodthorn can really ruin a Lifestealer's game. Like, he has a San, sure, but you're still silenced for 4 seconds. Plenty of time. Skadi, 25 gold away only though for this Lifestealer. Then Abaddon is gonna be way less effective.
We're going for the Skadi as well. Nice Carapace on the mid lane, gonna catch the Lion, Boomy. Will force staff away, and that's gonna be an important item for TNC. This force staff is the save. You know, Tim's playing the Grimstroke, very kind of more offensive-orientated support. Could go for, you know, the Inkswell Agshard later on for perhaps some defensive capabilities, but it's really up to Boomy with this force to save his teammates, especially if they get hit by that Orc.
Yep, 100%. And Puck is now itemizing into Yules, actually. So that means he saw the Oblivion staff then, and he's not thinking he's going Echo Saber. But yeah, once these dispels are out, it's gonna be Like, this item is gonna feel pretty bad on Tidehunter, to be honest. Like, you don't have any sort of Shiva Scott or anything like that. Satanic.
I'm sure TNC's hoping for a flicker, I bet. Everyone's hoping.
Well, it's gonna be
who doesn't
late,
want a
though.
flicker?
Ah, Flicker is
Yeah, I mean,
insane.
it is 37 minutes. I think, you know, this game has that feel. We haven't seen a team fight in some time. Roshan's still up, though. Smoke room from Fnatic as Gabby in the trees could be in the right spot to pop this one. Death does have his smoke get popped, as does Raven. And there's no Radiant high ground vision, so the dire TNC ward will spot them as Gabby manages to get a lot of information for his team.
And they put an observer ward there too, so should get dewarded relatively soon as well. TNC knows exactly what's happening here.
See themselves have a smoke on their line if they want to use it.
Look
like-
at Grimstroke, gods. He has been getting so much priority. Only 700 away from his Aghanim Scepter. He's so farmed.
Yeah, this bottom lane has been his. He's just been spamming it out, and because Fnatic want to play around Roshan, no one's been here. What's... Okay, so I think Fnatic... Well, TNC seem to be expecting somebody to TP bottom because Bok is positioned here, ready to jump with a lifesteal. They may just give up this tier 2 tower. Yeah, they just jump in. They're like, okay, we're going to get this tier 2 tower. Can they contest Roshan now? They don't have the outpost. If they want to go and contest this, they need a TP now to this tier 2 tower. They've got to get there fast, but Fnatic, they're bringing down Roche too quickly. Don't think TNC is going to be able to stop this one.
Yeah, it's
Fnatic.
gone.
Secure themselves Roche. Boomy gets the D-ward off his Puck, orbing in. Gonna scout things out, but it seemed like TNC made a bold decision to go for that smoke down bottom with the Infest, thinking someone would TP to TP, and instead Fnatic just get a Roche, and TNC's like, okay, let's cut our losses. We'll just take a tier 2 and not contest Roche.
Yeah, I think they're still okay with that though. This Grimstroke timing is going to be absolutely massive. 150 gold away from it. This Luna just finished her Skadi. I still don't know how they're going to kill this illusion. Anchor Smash doesn't work on it. None of Flashrock spell work on it. They just have no damage to kill it. It could potentially be the teamfight winner for them.
Yeah, that is big problem.
I love how they
Just
recognize
send
that
that
too.
on-
Like, TNC gave him
Yeah.
so much priority. He has it minute 26. That is pretty absurd.
Yeah, almost catching up to the Dragonite in terms of net worth. DK, who really, to be effective at this point, just needs that BKB. I'm sure, you know, Bok would love to go into the late game and get, like, the kind of Aghanim Scepter part of Taras that we've seen on Pinky DKs, but for the BKB, he's going to have all he needs, at least for these mid-game fights.
Yeah. And just in general, his impact won't be nearly as big as it would be in other games, just because there's this Abaddon who's going to shield off the Dragon Tail. So the recognition of TNC here is very good. Not a lot of teams would be able to do this, I feel like.
Dire structures are fortified.
Luna perhaps seeing that Dark Portrait coming out, itemizing into a Crystallis.
Dire's bottom tower.
Even
less
that hurts
stat-based.
with 150%
Yeah.
multiplier.
It does still hurt, you're right.
I feel like there's nothing you can build on Luna that doesn't help the Grimstroke portrait.
Dire's bottom tower
Just how the hero works, right? Like unless you
Without
build like
access.
a
are fortified.
like what like a hex or something, you just give
Yeah.
to yourself.
I mean, Aghanim Scepter is pretty good, but well, I mean, it helps obviously the illusion a little, but it's more about you get some crazy old. I don't think you want to go Ags against Lifestealer. These heroes
Yeah, no
have
way.
ways to escape.
Okay, Puck finished his Yule Scepter,
Is under
and
attack.
this
Top tower
Orchid on
under
Tide hasn't really done anything yet.
Ooh, by the way, Lifestealer picking up a BKB, so yeah, this Orchid is going to feel...
Dire's bottom
Oh, he's got
Extra
BKB
easy.
instead of Satanic. Hey,
Radiant's
interesting.
top tower.
Usually
Yes,
you see
I
the
mean, largely-
Satanic to this build.
Here we go, they're going high ground. Fnatic saying if they can get this tower, these blades will just bounce around. They get the nice Blink Ravage in, they're trying to blow up their lifesteal. They succeed in doing so. He doesn't get the rage up, but the turnaround is there. A 3-hero combo, the Soulbind into absolute TNC destruction. They're going to look to chase down DJ as well. The saves just weren't there. There was just too much freaking damage as they kill Luna a second time. Oh, Tims, he just set everybody up for a massive fight there.
Wow. We just spoke about how good this portrait is, and it just obliterates all of them. They get a good coil on like 3-4 heroes. Sure, they lose their lifestealer for it, but it's a massive win. It was like a 6-1
everybody
fight.
up. Yeah, everybody grouped up in a coil, the Earth Spike, the Chain Stun, and then, like you said, the Dark Portrait Illusion just wrecking them. It almost, I don't know if TNC had, if Fnatic had seen the Dark Portrait. Perhaps why they went high ground is because they were trying to get there before Grimstroke got the Aghanim Scepter, because he only just finished it.
Yeah, potentially. But this is really bad news now. At this point, they're supposed to be really quite a bit ahead. And I don't know how Fnatic teamfights now. Anymore. After this Dark Portrait, actually. Like, I literally don't know how to deal with it. Luna needs to right-click it down somehow. But she doesn't have a BKB to do it. She's gonna be feeling very weak for quite a while, I feel like.
Yeah. So if there's no answer to it, sounds like they're gonna find a way to kill Pims without Luna, without showing their Luna.
Yeah. Who's gonna jump him though? The Tide? That's pretty risky. Nyx can maybe find him out, but there's so many sentries littered all around the map. Not easy.
Feeling confident now. They pushing forward in the enemy jungle. They're still gonna be a little bit careful. There's no Ravage to worry about for 50 seconds, so they're gonna go for a smoke play. Fnatic know about this one. They are positioned behind the Leshrac in the mid lane. Does TNC want to go for a jump here? Bok gets the Dragon Tail to pull up, immediately shielded off, but he gets Hexed and impaled afterwards. No more shield for DJ to outbash one here. He's in trouble. The defensive use is there. The burrowed up Nyx from the high ground doing some work as the Soulbind is being used to kind of cover the retreat here. It looks like TNC don't want to force their way into this burrowed up Nyx assassin, and they may perhaps lose their line. Who gets a great force up over the trees. The TP out. Oh, Umi almost making a nice play there. Does go down though.
Did you see how the Luna played the team fight? He did absolutely nothing. He didn't dare to show himself. Because of course he knows the Grimace is waiting for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gotta hide.
End up losing nothing, fortunately. Was pretty close on the Lesh there. I gotta admit though, I don't like this BKB on the Lifestealer. I feel like Satanic makes so much more sense. Like, of course it has its purpose against the Orchid, against all the magic damage against the Ravage. Sure, yeah. But do you really want to itemize into an item like this on a Lifestealer? Because Satanic, I feel like, is going to make you nigh unkillable anyways, and it gives you way more damage. And the more consistent the spell as well.
I guess maybe he's thinking we're going to get to this late game point where if he just has to siege high ground, he's going to have, you know, Rage as well as BKB and then probably a second Rage, but... going all in on the spell immunity, then he's got the damage queued up. So Daedalus is going to be his next time, and at that point he's going to be pretty close to 6 slotted.
Yeah, I love Daedalus actually in Lifestealer. I feel like we don't see it enough because it actually stacks with the feast damage it deals, like the crit multiplier does. There's a massive crit you get from it.
It seems to be the new go-to carry late game damage item. It used to be Rapier, but you know Rapier losing the True Strike, kind of fallen out of the meta a bit. And
yeah, it's just so hard to play
MKB.
Without that True Strike, as you said. I mean, even Lifestealer just gets like a random evasion talent level 20. And suddenly this Rapier already feels like, eh.
Yep. Well, bit of a pause coming out. Fnatic do have a very small gold lead, but you know, 31 minutes in a game like this, I think looking at these gold numbers is going to tell the whole story. But Luna has managed to pull a decent ways ahead of Lifesteal in terms of farm, but as you kind of mentioned, that farm gets turned around on her with the Grimstroke.
I feel like Lifestealer, I'm not entirely sure what happened, but he fell off really hard. Like, he was on par with Luna the entire time. Potentially, it's also the way he's thinking about the game. Like, as you can see, his itemization as well. He's being very, very passively farming away, rather than taking the efficient farm that is a little bit more risky. He's been leaving that.
The other thing we saw is last fight he was the bait in some. I don't know if that was intentional, maybe not, but he died and then they team wipe.
Yeah.
Puck, meanwhile, suddenly is like almost is up there with the top net worth heroes. Has a Kaya and Sanj and then a Dagon 5 queued up. So this could be a game where Armel is going to really pop off in terms of his damage output.
Yeah, Puck can definitely be this hero. It's just he doesn't have any Aeon Disc, and against Nyx Assassin, even if you play almost perfectly, it just takes one mistake and you just die. This Carapace from anywhere, you get stunned, suddenly they follow up on you with like a Ravage or something, you're just dead. Because the Dire side doesn't really have any way of saving you.
The Nyx Carapace, when you're burrowed, what's the AoE on that, do you know?
350, I believe. It's not massive? Oh, it's at 300, it says there, yeah. But 300, it's like 125 less than a Pugna Blast, but it's still pretty big. It's mainly so that after you impale, you can just borrow and then right away Carapace them. Just keep them stun locked.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if that works against Aya Sanj or not. Probably does.
And I guess in a team fight where he's just borrowed, it may be harder for him to actually find those carapaces on a puck.
Yeah.
Usually it's your mobility that allows you to carapace the puck spells.
Yeah, and I assume Puck is not really gonna shoot an orb at that little Diglett in the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Once Puck finds out where the Nyx is, he's not going in 300 range and he's not throwing little orbs. Look, Nyx is at least a Doug trio. Come on, Vlad.
I just feel like Diglett is the cutest Pokemon ever. He's just like a little head from the floor. Have you seen this meme
Nyx
picture?
Cute?
Where it's like really ripped beneath?
Yeah.
Just this body build. You don't think it's cute? Look at that mouth. And the little weird head shape.
I mean, I'm not anti-bugs, but I'm sure there's a lot of people who look at Nyx and think, you know, that's something that's going to haunt me in my nightmares.
Yeah, I also don't even know if he... Like, does he exist? It just feels like he's very empty. Like, doesn't look like he has a head.
True.
Kind of like the Lich King, you know?
Armor. It's like the armor around a soulless or headless body almost.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Back into the game.
Jabs did my mistake. Vendetta does not continue after you borrow. I found it out.
You gotta do it the other way, right?
Yeah. You gotta come out of the borrow with the Vendetta, and it works. It could be such a nice quality of life change, though. Let him borrow Vendetta, come out of Vendetta.
He's just, he's testing how it works.
Well, I should know this by now. No.
Just double checking, you know. It's like the BKB. It's like just making sure this BKB works, okay?
Well, BKB is finished now on Luna, so you will have some sort of way to just right-click the illusion at least, but it's not gonna feel good because you don't want to be right-clicking illusions in a team fight.
Here we go. Fnatic have smoked up with this BKB timing, though. They send a Lesh Illusion. That's going to scout out Boomy because he mana drains it. Now Xuan in the front lines with the Leshrac has a BKB of his own. Blink in from Pog. Gets the Dragon Tail on Xuan. The Impale follow-up is there. DJ trying to keep him alive with the Nyx burrowed out. The Finger of Death is there. A lot of damage coming out with the Coil onto 2. Abaddon getting hit by the Soulbind as well. He can't keep Jabs alive. Xuan with the BKB. Life stealing a bit with the spells. Death with a nice Ravage. Takes out the Dragonite. Gabby luckily had the BKB. That helped keep the library. He's got a Rage back up now as well. He's looking to go back in here. Death on the tide, getting low, but the heals just being too much from DJ for now. They want Xuan on the Leshrac. He's trying to turn and fight. Looks for the Split Earth, won't get it, and with the DK buyback, the chase is on. Puck manages to orb away in a sliver of hell somehow. He keeps himself alive. Armel with the Yule Scepter now. He's managing to just juke his way through this one. The burrowed up Nyx is in trouble. He's looking to get brought down by the Lifestealer. Gabby, does he have the damage? It's not enough just yet. The heals are there. Jabs, he's still alive, and with the silence on the Lifestealer, he's going to go down. He couldn't get the rage off. Fnatic, they're winning this fight. They can't get the DK a second time with the blink away. And Fnatic have somehow managed to turn this one on TNC.
It was a massive amount of buybacks because they know exactly that Roshan respawn. Whoever wins that fight gets the Roshan. There was so many clutch spell usages by DJ. And then Tidehunter comes in at the last second. Rage was like half a second of cooldown. Gets the silence on. Otherwise the Nyx would have died. Very close team fight. But Fnatic is going to be very happy with the result of it.
TNC's looking to contest this Roche, but they're going to be here too late. Oh, are they? It's going to be close. Puck, orbing, jointing in, doesn't manage to get there.
Are you talking about
it? Zap! Armel finds DJ, gets some revenge. That's 500 gold for killing an Abaddon. How the hell do you get 500 gold for a 5 position?
That's just how Dota works. I saw... Someone solo kill support yesterday, got 1200 gold. Like, why?
More gold than any kill in the last fight. I just pushed enter, and all the kills from the last fight were like 350 to 400. And they have a kill.
Yeah, I have not understood the bounty rules in like 2 years now. Ever since they changed it.
No.
It's really weird.
One area on patch notes where I'll kind of skim over and be like, you know, you get gold for kills. That's all you need to know as a caster.
There's so many complicated numbers and brackets and everything. I'm like, oh, what do you mean divided by 10, multiplied by 25? What is happening? Jabs down there. He bought back before.
Yep. X is there. No Carapace proc. Impale follow it with a finger. Finger zap. Boomy's trying to build up some finger damage.
Yeah, even went for the max health per finger instead of the Earth Spike cooldown. Interesting. I feel like we always see the Earth Spike cooldown on a 5 line at least.
Or yeah, something a little bit different.
Left
Feeling
going
like
to...
this game is gonna drag out.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't blame him after watching these qualifiers.
Like, I'm getting lots of stacks, and also, you know, the health, the survivability, not bad. Mid lane, Fnatic in a position. They've got the Aegis with the Daedalus here. Even with the Aegis, TNC are feeling like they can confidently play on Fnatic's side of the map.
I wonder if this actually impacts players and teams' mindset. Like, if they see a qualifier just be super long on average, does it impact their mentality towards the game? But it feels like it does.
They're picking different heroes, maybe. They're going for different items. Okay, the line talent is probably just a result of what we've seen happen here.
What is Def going for? He's going completely haywire here and going for a Lincoln Sphere next. Just to protect the Luna, probably from a Dark Portrait.
Ooh. Mind that. I guess how easy the pop is. I guess the puck does pretty well because you can kind of jump in with the blink and orb out while Dagoning or something.
You can also pop it with Phantom's Embrace instantly. But it doesn't even fly out, it's just an instant pop on the Lincolns. Luna's going for her own Lincolns as well, so they just want to stack Lincolns on him, I guess.
Alright. That's the late game plan, Fnatic. That's one thing that's why these two teams are still in the upper bracket with all these crazy 6-minute games. Fnatic and TNC are the two teams. They've got the experience. They know how to play these late game scenarios better than anyone, and they're the teams that the pressure seems to get to the least. Boomy, Blink, Ravage coming in, gonna catch 2 on the high ground as well as the support Lion. That's happy just to go jumping on in. Now with the Bok, BK jumps in with the BKB himself with a lifestealer backup. The damage isn't there. On the left, as Death is with the borrowed time. Oh, snap! They get the tide. Death is dead. That's a dieback as well. Tron needs to be a little bit careful. The DK getting low. Bok trying to fly back to the high ground with the Infest healing him up a little bit. That's enough to keep him alive. And now the next target is Tron's Lestrak. DJ has to be careful in the Abaddon. He can't get too close without the borrowed time, but they're managing to win this fight with Ravens Loon doing so much damage. The puck jumps back in. Gabby with the rage still up. He's trying to bring down the Nyx, but Nyx is hella tanky, and Puck actually gets brought down. Raven gets himself a triple kill.
You got chipped by the glaive, you couldn't blink. Very unfortunate. Do they have buybacks? Only the Puck has a buyback. If they lose this tower, the Rex are gone. Potentially even the T4s are gone. They're pinging the throne. And if they don't buy back, they might lose it.
You just have to buy back, I gotta imagine. Gabby, what's he up to? He's going for some neutral items, it looks like. I don't blame him. That's an interesting call. He's actually he got the bounty rune. He gave Grimstroke buyback. So they can get a Dark Portrait out now. If Grimstroke wants to use that. Gabby goes running in, finds a courier. Has a Flicker now to play with, a great pickup. That's why he was in the jungle. He's like, we're losing racks. He's like, nah, I'm going jungle. But it looks like they are going to have to give up this. Yeah, they're giving up the racks. Probably will fight for the tier 4 towers. Gabby just getting poked at.
Yeah, the Bound City is actually crazy. It looks so... I don't know. It just doesn't look like Dota anymore, you know what I mean? All these, or maybe it looks exactly like Dota actually. What am I saying?
It's like there's most other spells, you know, just don't work on buildings. So,
yeah.
So it's interesting. Glaives is one of the few that does.
They just have glaives bouncing from the middle Rex to like throne, hitting heroes over there.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those mechanics. I think if Ice Frog for whatever reason made it so that glaives don't bounce on buildings, I think not many people would be upset.
Yeah, but I feel like Luna would also not be as big anymore at all. That's a pretty good gimmick, right? Like especially with like heroes that empower her. You go high ground, you get the tower unexpectedly, and suddenly the enemy's like, oh, we're done. We can't defend this.
You can buff her other ways, or maybe give her a talent that does it.
A 25 talent? I wouldn't mind it. They're terrible anyways.
Yeah, I'd say 25 talent just to get back something that you used to have sounds kind of brutal. But yeah, like you say, Luna's 25s. I mean, we'll see. Probably what, 30% lifesteal?
Yeah, like the Eclipse mini-stun is pretty good if you have Axe Scepter, especially with the Refresher, just perma-stun people. But he's going for the cookie cutter build. Nah. Has an Illusionist cape as well.
One nice little pickup.
Yep. And the Lincoln
Lifesteal's 25 will be important. His Rage Duration, I gotta imagine he's gonna want, but he's still got a full level to go. Fnatic are not interested in giving TNC time to sit back. They're considering this high ground. the double Lincolns now, Tide as well as Luna, both have one.
Yeah, they're just gonna be stacking it on the Luna. Make sure they don't get the portrait at all. He's dropping every item on Luna. What's happening? Just to use the illusion escape, what? What kind of gimmick is happening here? Oh, so he doesn't get the Dark Portrait illusion or what?
Oh, clever, clever.
I mean, he stood there for like 10 seconds. Like, man, you probably gotta practice it a bit in demo mode first.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess that's the downside of the illusion escape, is that it makes an easy way to get the Dark Portrait image for Grimstroke.
yeah. Same with the Manta also. He keeps doing it, but really, I don't know how efficient it is, because he's not Thompson level of button clicking. Like, if you watch some people play, the way they drag items in and out is insane. Like, they're so fast. How do they do that? I tried that.
You've got to be so precise too. Here we go, TNC, they're smoked up. They're looking to make their move out of their base. They put an Observer on the high ground. They don't reveal a sentry or anything, as Radiant don't have any way to know there's a ward here right now, I believe. Fox just gonna go for the D ward.
Okay, I'm DK. Not sure why. They didn't see them, right? Could have potentially gone for a move.
Fnatic themselves are smoked up. Fnatic are just grouped aside. They know this is do or die time. Roche can respawn in 10 seconds, so this is where winning or losing a fight could lead to Roshan potentially, or just game over if you're one of these.
Oh, Tims!
Buyback.
So
Can't
careful.
afford to get picked off. The blink in. Death doesn't go for the Ravage. Tims has not got the A on this yet. He's going to be the first target. He does have buyback, I believe. There's going to be a blink pop. Dragon Tail. He catches out the back lines. He peeks out. Nix, who's forced to immediately buy back the DK on the front lines. Once DJ will be a great pickup for them. That takes away so many of these saves. He doesn't have buyback. He's dead brave. The Soulbind catching out too. Where's the Dragon Tail? The Lucent Beam stun pushing them back. But there's going to be a double hex into a double impale. They're absolutely getting destroyed. Gabby with the BKB rage as well. Schwan getting brought down on the Leshrac. Is the physical damage there? It's going to be close, and they bring him down before the TP.
Oh no!
Dead Leshrac without buyback. TNC have won a crucial fight here, and they may get more. Death's Lincoln Sphere. They're going to do so much for him. Damage is there to bring down the Tide, who also does not have buyback.
It just shows you how strong this combination is of Grimstroke Lion, Hex, Impale Finger on both of them.
Oh.
And Leshrac unfortunately died. He fumbled a little bit with his inventory. Plate Mail was in the backpack. He would have lived otherwise, I would imagine.
And that, yeah, the Grimstroke this game has been huge. The Dark Portrait as well as all the spells they're comboing.
Yeah.
The Dragon Tail as well that they've had hitting multiple heroes in some of these fights. It's just absolutely destroyed Fnatic. And
Nick's Korea? Oh, it was close. It's the Aeon disc.
Okay.
If you lose, it's dead.
Yeah.
Roshan up in 90 seconds. And 2 buybacks expended here. Luna bought back right away. So did DJ.
On the Dire side, buyback status is they're going to have these buybacks at least the puck in 2.5 minutes. So we're going to get to a point where TNC should have an edge when it comes to buybacks.
Yeah, Grimstroke is really the big one, though. It feels like as though he's more important than some of these cores right now.
Yeah.
How
Got
close
an
is he to
disc
the Aeon
queued up.
disc? Oh, still quite a bit away. 1300?
Yeah. He can farm it quickly. Perhaps that's going to be... Yeah, he's staying kind of bottom while his team are elsewhere, but he also has to be wary that, you know, Fnatic may make a play on his life.
Yeah, this is the tournament meta right now. Aeon disc on everyone.
He had the Arcane boost. Yeah, he's got Aeon disc now. The Arcane boost.
Aeon disc on him, Aeon disc on DK queued up, Aeon disc on Lion queued up, Puck has one. Everyone is going for one.
Here we go, Fnatic. They smoke out of their base. Dire vision around this Roshan pit is fantastic. We'll see what Fnatic can do. Chuck a ward on the high ground, but they don't want to D-ward right away.
The net worth is a little bit deceiving. Lifesteal is sitting on 5k right now.
Right, here we go. Fest into the puck. Armel in the front lines.
What can they get?
What's he going to find here? Level 26 as well.
Yeah, Armel has been a beast this game.
And they're checking out the Roshan pit, making sure there's no shenanigans going on. Armel, what can he find? He doesn't have buyback, so he's going to be a little bit careful. Does have the Aeon disc, and of course, Puck is just known for being oh so slippery.
Dewarding the sentry so their ops doesn't get dewarded. Ionis,
Where
be careful!
Dragon Form is up. In with the Hex, they're going on DJ, but the Abaddon, he's being stunned up while they go on the backlines here. They want Chuan. Meanwhile, Abaddon just being silenced up as well, but the DK kind of gets left alone. Doesn't pop the BKB, gets helped out by the 4-star. Lifestealer inside the puck, not the DK, means Falk has to just BKB TP out. None of the damage for him, so...
And Roshan is up, and just spawned.
Okay. Dragonform still has a bit of duration left on it, but Fnatic's already in there. DK should be able to get back potentially in time with the Ag Scepter.
Roshan's falling fast.
Make it in here.
I'm gonna make a decision here.
Me, standing above to the north, can he make a play for the steal or a snipe here? Not sure they want to go for it. DK blinks in with the puck as well. They time this, not perhaps at the perfect Roshan time. They're going to get the Aegis onto Schwann's Leshrac. Fnatic have the Aegis. They can look to turn and fight. Box going to be careful on the DK. Doesn't have BKB. He's 4-stuffed. He gets back to the high ground. He's still alive on the DK. TNC want this Luna, but the cheese being popped. They heal him back up, and with the burrowed up Nyx Assassin, they want to get the hell out of here. Boomy's lying in some trouble now. Gets chased down. Looks like TNC just going to look to disengage, having already taken out the Aegis.
Oh, that was so close! Okay. It was like max range.
Stops the boots to travel with the Dagon as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there an Ags or Refresher I didn't see?
Good question. I just clicked through the heroes very quick.
I see Nyx. Oh, Nyx has an Ags, of course.
It's an Axe Scepter then. Wait, no. Yeah, I clicked on Nyx too, I was like, what? And then you said it, I was like, ooh.
No.
Wait, there's no Refresher. Puck has the Aghanims. Okay, Puck took the Aghanims. Which is a massive upgrade for them.
Oh yeah.
If Luna is just stuck there with a portal hitting her, yeah, it's perfect. Probably couldn't have asked for anything better. But now his buyback is very expensive too. Some creeps.
Yeah. Well, he's happy just to have it off cooldown now. Hopefully for the upcoming fight if he can farm it.
Lifestealer is about to get a whole lot scarier. Just finishes Daedalus. It's gonna be a ton of damage coming out from him now. So how much is Feast?
And it feels like there's
1.2%. Yeah, that's good. It's about a 50-ish, 60 bonus damage on the Luna.
And this is the window now where Fnatic do not have buyback on some of their key heroes. The Luna, Abaddon have 3 minutes left in their buybacks, and TNC have managed to get all their buybacks back up, more or less, just waiting on Puck to farm a bit more gold.
Yep. And
I guess the Grimstroke is still on cooldown. That's the big one for them, you kind of mentioned.
But he has Aeon Disc now.
Luna.
They actually have 3 Aeon Discs ready, right? Oh, Lion about to finish his. Yeah, I mean, DK went away from it and just goes for the Nullifier to, of course, counter the Nyx Assassin's Aeon Disc. It feels like this late game is always just about Aeon Disc. Every time. How do we counter this? How do we make sure they don't counter ours? Aeon Disc here, Aeon Disc there. How would you nerf that item?
That's an Iceberg question. How would you nerf the Black? I don't know.
I feel like make it so you only take like half damage instead of like 100% reduction. That means you auto-counter also free, stuff like that.
Speaking of some of these saves, there is a Leshrac Wind Waker, so potentially can save teammates with this. But that's where the Nullifier really comes into play, because this is going to be huge against these Aeon Discs as well as that Wind Waker.
Yeah. Nullifier is also a very underrated item. It just answers all these late game saving options. Well, not all of them, of course, but a lot of them. Like, how much is Wind Waker? Like, almost 8k? 7.1k?
Yeah.
And Nullifier is 4.7. It's way cheaper, obviously.
Luna going to some new late game tech, has got an Aghanim Scepter queued up, perhaps thinking they need to just blow a hero up during some of these stuns with the Lucent Beams, and also just running out of slots, so could get the Blessing later on as well.
I wonder if a Moonshot is better or the Axe Blessing, actually, with the item build he has gone for. Because, what? How much attack speed is a Moonshot again? 70 or 60 when you consume it? 60.
Yeah, half. Yeah.
Actually, for some reason, it's not half anymore. You get 140 and then it goes down to 60.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure why. Should be half.
Yeah, it was initially half, right? I'm not going crazy.
Yeah, it was. What I never understood, do you get the night vision also while you carry the item or only after consumption? Oh yeah, it says so. 400 while you just carry it, and 200 after consumption.
Used to
again,
be you got none when you consumed it. I think they added that later, if I recall.
Yeah, because it was terrible. Why would you lose everything?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
See where Luna goes, but for now, definitely going to be managing that buyback, which has come back up. Both teams have just spent the last. It's like, okay, there's no Roshan for like. They lost Aegis right away, so it's like, all right, let's just wait for 8 minutes and then we'll meet again at the Roche Pit Black. That seems to be how the SEA Dota goes.
I have seen more than enough of that yesterday in that 140, what was the 104-minute game or whatever it was.
Yeah, we were all over on the mainstream and we were having like 9 hours for 2 best-of-3s. But yeah, you had a single 100-minute game. It has been wild. This SEA qualifiers has been quite the spectacle for viewers, casters, teams, and players alike.
I wonder if you compare to other regions, how it compares in terms of duration. Going on DJ here.
Way higher, yep. They jump on the airband, but that looks like on the backlines, Death on the Tide is the target they want.
Oh, they're crushing him!
And the lifesteal bring him down. Yeah, with the Puck Axe Coil, he can't actually get away from this one. They want the Tide, he manages to get brought down, but instantly buying back. Now there's a Dark Portrait. Raven's just hitting the Dark Portrait, but now he's got a Gabby lifesteal to worry about. He 4-stops away from the lifesteal and catches out the support Lion. Nice find as DK gets stunned up, but gets the BKB on afterwards. It's just going to go for the TP out. Don't have any answer to the BKB TP.
Feels like we've seen that just about 3 minutes ago.
Yep.
Pretty much same spot.
Tide goes down, buys back. Lion doesn't have the buyback.
But did you see how the game ended? Somebody Boots of Travel 2'd onto the Dragon Knight and he cliffed himself because Dragon Knight was flying over a cliff. Then he died after a buyback. That was the worst way ever for the game to end.
That is just heartbreaking. Yeah.
I really
Play
felt
for
bad
100 minutes and then that happened. It's like, things you're never going to consider that when you're casting that Boots of Travel 2 on your teammate too. You're just assuming like, yeah, it's going to be fine.
But the worst thing is, he had Blink Dagger. He just didn't know he was up there because, as you said, he just didn't think about it at all. DK also level 25 now.
Go from here. Yeah.
AoE Dragon's Tail is also a massive game turner potentially. It's basically an RP.
I guess, and it'll stun people through Lincolns if you target someone else, right? Is that correct?
I don't think it's a target ability anymore, right? It's kind of like Storm Vortex
it's just
now.
an AoE. Okay.
Yeah. I think it forgoes Lincolns entirely. I haven't tested it. I'm not 100% sure, but that's how Storm Vortex works. So.
Yeah. I was thinking you still had to target something, but if it's no longer needing to target, then
a tithe to the impurities.
That's huge, yeah, because these double Lincolns could just be somewhat negated by this. Not to mention just the fact you can stun the Abaddon as well as his teammate, because there's not. Well, Abaddon can still pop the borrowed time and then shield his buddy. I guess that's the kind of play DJ's going to be looking for.
Yeah, and he also went for this Axe Scepter. I tested this recently. Axe Scepter on Abaddon is so unbelievably strong. Together with the Holy Locket, like it triggers every 525 health, and with the talent you heal about 450 health every missed coil. So you lose like 70 health only.
Yeah. 500 AoE missed. This supports a 25. Okay.
I did not expect these to be 25. Wait, even Boomy's 25. Tim's is 22. How did that happen?
I feel like we've seen these 56-minute games. I haven't really seen the supports get 25 in them that often. I'm sure you did in your 100-minute game, but...
Oh my god. Yeah, this also means we have the AoE Hex now. Another method to forego the Lincolns.
Oh.
This item is practically useless now.
I mean, yeah, they may even want to consider selling it for something else. Kind of an upgrade.
You can maybe protect yourself from the Dark Portrait, but that's it, DJ?
Oh. Link's done. DJ's been found. And they pull him up before the borrowed time. Nope. They could have maybe gone for a finger and tried to catch him by surprise, but they were ready for it. The Nyx Assassin, meanwhile, not able to stun up the lifesteal. He managed to get the rage up. Now Boko charging with the BKB. Nice coil on the 3, and with the Axe Scepter, they kind of completely suck. And this is Soul Buy. The Dagon's to follow it up. TNC, Gabby in the front lines with the BKB as well as the rage. The Ravage is not going to connect on anyone except the DK further away. Lifestealer manages to infest his way out of there, comes back in, re-engages with the dead Abaddon. They want more Puck. Actually managed to die in the backlines. They got the lockdown they needed. Gabby, can he finish off jabs here on the Nyx? He's got the Aeon Disc. The Nyx is just unkillable, it feels like. Yep. He's just too tanky. Gabby goes charging back in with the Blink Dagger. He wants Schwan on this Slash Rack, but he's too tanky himself. That's Tide as the new target, but he's got Ghost Scepter. Doesn't get rid of it. The 3-man mana drain coming in from the line, who goes in for a Finger of Death. Not enough damage on the side. But he's not trying to finish him off the orb. He can't actually finish off Death. Death somehow blinks back in. He's still alive, but Nick's going down, and now Gabby, he's trying to just wreak havoc. The Wind Waker Leshrac, he's trying to fly his way out of there. It's Tornado Alley as the Dagon brings the Leshrac low. Gabby's still chasing forward. This life steal is just unkillable. He's just constantly full health. Puck still fishing for more on the backlines. Isn't going to succeed in doing so. Lion dies and buys back immediately. Nyx is still finding a new place to burrow one down. If they get this Nyx, that's a dieback, but he's tucked away nice and deep, Gabby. As he got the damage to get this kill, the Split Earth coming out, stunning up Bok, who has a BKB in 2 seconds, but he won't get a chance to pop it. He's dead without buyback. Luna buying back now as well. Gabby looking to turn and fight. Hasn't have Satanic, doesn't have a way to lifesteal his way through this one. Will go down, and Raven has a triple kill. Split Earth onto the high ground. They catch out Tim's. Tim's dead now as well with buyback, and Fnatic making good use of their buybacks to win this fight, potentially secure Roshan.
Yeah, Rose is back up, this time with all items. And it just feels like TNC is initially always winning these fights, but Fnatic is just making much better use of their buybacks and turning so many fights around. I think there's the third one consecutively to turn around this way.
Both teams just kiting so well. They're going for Roshan and TNC. Lion, you gotta be careful here. Does not have buyback. Yeah, they're too late for this one, it feels like, but they're still trying to take this fight. Gabby charging in, looking to start this fight. Gets stunned up by the Impale. The Split Earth follow-up. Gabby's stunned. He's dead. It's a dieback. Oh! Jabs was ready for him. Got him with the carapace setup. Now the puck needs to find a way out. Armel, has he got the damage? He's going to carry this game on his own, and he's in 2 versus 4 here. Goes blinking back in. Wanted DJ, but didn't have the damage to bring him down with the borrowed time being proc. Armel needs to find these kills. That's the only way he can defend, it feels like. And Juan's looking for him. Trying to catch him with the Yule, I imagine, as Aeon Disc is on cooldown.
You cannot fight into this pit, GoDz, against this Leshrac stun. He got stunned like 4 times by it.
Oh, the life
Lunax clip coming through. Oh, Tims is eating it.
Tims, gotta be careful. He gets the Dark Portrait out. That could be a game changer. Tims is getting low. Can he keep himself alive? No, he can't. He's dead, and now the tier 4 tower goes down, as well as the throne next in line, as Armel trying to defend this on his own, but there's nothing he can do. Fnatic, they're gonna take game 1 of this best of 3. They lose the Abad, and Armel getting another for the scoreboard, but actually no, they cleared the creep. No! Okay. Puck's dead. He died top. They have to fight through backdoor protection. Can they do this? I believe they should be able to with the Edict as well as the Luna damage.
25 Edict, no problem, right?
Yeah, it's GG.
No
buyback. Game over. Fnatic. Woo!
A lot closer than we thought it would be. But Fnatic showing once more how experienced they are there. Buyback usage this game is really what won them the game, I think. Was way better than TNC's. Who also fought pretty damn well. But yeah, Fnatic clinching it out at the top.
That was, yeah, world-class Dota from both these two teams. This entire SA qualifiers has just been brutal. 58 minutes, it feels like, you know, I've seen more late-game Dota in this SA qualifiers than a long, long time. Absolutely crazy stuff. And we're going to have hopefully a bit more to say. We're going to take a quick break, get a glass of water, take a breath, maybe get myself a can of mate, because this best of 3, it feels like it could go the distance, so stick around, guys.
problem was potentially the mindset that we have seen really all qualifier long. I just keep repeating it. I think Gabby was a little bit too defensive with his items. A lot of fights, he actually managed to hit a lot of heroes. He just didn't have enough damage to kill them because of that BKB purchase, I feel like. And maybe just go back to your roots. You know, Gabby is a very aggressive player usually. He itemizes in a lot of damage and bursts heroes down. This game he did quite the opposite.
Well, we'll head to a short break, and when we come back from Game 2, we'll see if the puck is going to come back through and how much more aggressive TNC might end up being. Welcome back, everyone. Just before we jump into game number 2, which will be soon, I promise you, I have to ask you, Black, I want to address the game length that's happening in Southeast Asia right now. They are going for so long, and it is amazing Dota that we are watching. I absolutely love it. But I have to ask you, is this what the teams are normally doing? Is this what we can normally expect from them? Or is it a bit of a TI10 qualifier factor?
I mean, if we just go back to Season 2 of the SEA region, I think the longest game we have seen there was like 50 minutes. And it was like the upper end of the spectrum, right? Now, it feels like 1 hour games are the new norm. And I don't know what happened to literally every single team, but the game duration doubled just in the TI qualifier. Usually, as I said, the TNC is a very aggressive team, and so is Fnatic, really. They might pick hard carries, but they play them in a very aggressive way. But yeah, TI qualifiers, a lot is on the line,
That is true. I mean, you play a little bit safer knowing just how much there is on the line. Do you think that TNC are more comfortable to play aggressive, and maybe they should try and channel a little bit more of that? Because we are still in the upper bracket finals, you know what I mean? So they're not going to be eliminated or anything. They still have a second chance. So do you think they should perhaps go for that more aggressive lineup?
It's always their style. I feel like that's what the players excel at. Gabby is an amazing aggressive carry player, and so is Armel. This entire team just speaks aggression to me, and I feel that's the strong suit. I should definitely be going back to it, I feel like.
Well, I'm really looking forward to a lot more early aggressive gameplay. But GoDz, over on the side of Fnatic, you and Black were talking about how TNC looked like they had the late game all wrapped up, and unfortunate, just due to certain clutch plays, Fnatic ended up pulling out the win. What do you think Fnatic has to change then to try and secure more of that late game?
5 seconds.
I think the key thing for me is that they're 2 support players. DJ and Jabs are just the most skilled support players, combo in any team, almost in the world. They both used to be core players. They're both so mechanically solid. They make game-winning plays. DJ is known for his Enigma. Jabs' Nyx assassin that game was the one catching everybody, picking them off, and setting them up for success. So I think for Fnatic to continue succeeding is make sure that these 2 guys still have these high-impact heroes.
Yeah, well, I mean, speaking of that Nyx Assassin, it is going to be banned out by TNC. I guess they think the exact same as you, that it is just way too strong, and they don't want to give them that chance of having it again. But, Black, I'm sure you're very happy about that. But then what are your thoughts on the Terrorblade and the Phoenix being picked up for them?
We have seen, I don't know how it went on the main stream, but on the second stream we have seen a lot of first 2 Terrorblade picks, and I think they won every game. Not entirely sure on that, but every game that I casted, Terrorblade won. It just seems like an amazing hero right now. You might lose your lane a little bit. You just go into the jungle level 3 or 4, and you still end up at the top of the net worth. And you're the craziest, scary late game hero in Dota right now. You just counter most of the other hard carries. Not all of them, but most of the meta carries at least. So I'm quite liking what I'm seeing here. And of course, Nyx Assassin being banned brings happiness to my soul.
Do you think it's worth picking up the Terrorblade so early, though? Surely there is a lot of potential for Fnatic to really focus it and shut it down as much as they can.
Potentially, yes. But the problem is, usually it just gets second phase banned, and then you can't get it in the second phase. Yeah. So if you want to have it, you got to pick it right there.
I agree. I think they're most comfortable when they have either Spectre or Terrorblade. That's TNC's 2 best carries. I think they still can play this aggressive kind of TB drafts. We saw Gabby actually making moves with Metamorphosis last time we played this hero fairly early on to take objectives. So I think this suits TNC really well, and I like the Phoenix. It's a great support to have with the TB, so this feels very planned from TNC that they were going to burst to the TB with Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is them going back to something that they're a little bit more confident, comfortable with, something that they know they can execute a lot better when it gets to that late game. But let's look at the side of Fnatic. We see the Axe being picked. We've only seen Axe win 1 game, I believe it is, so far in the Southeast Asia qualifiers. He got picked a fair amount as well and just wasn't winning things. So, Black, walk me through if you like that pick and the pairing with the Mirana as well.
It really depends on the team. The Chinese teams sort of brought it into the meta at the major, but it's a really execution-heavy core hero, I feel like. If you put him as a carry, you need to know exactly what you're doing. And I don't know if that's right, but I saw a lot of carry Axe in this qualifier lose. Is that right?
Yeah, a lot. Only one win, I believe.
I'm
day one,
not surprised.
It lost like 7 games in a row on day one. That was Axe being carry and support, but the heroes got the worst win rate of like any hero in the qualifiers that's being picked a lot. It's at like 30% in like 50 games.
Yeah, offlane it's weird offlane, right? Because you farm fast, sure, but like you're not really contributing as much to teamfights as you would as like a Tidehunter or Dragon Knight or anything like that. And as a carry, as I said before, it's very, very execution heavy and very hard to pull off. Most teams won't be able to do it. I'm not sure why people pick it, especially this early. Like you gotta be very comfortable with it, which I'm sure Fnatic is if they pick it this early.
Does that
Raven
mean
played it already, yeah. Raven did play it in one game. It was one of those crazy 60-minute games that they could have. It's like it lost, but it could have been anyone's game. Like
remember when you asked about the Bloodthorn? He built it on Axe. I remember now actually.
Oh, that's the game. Yeah, I think our producer actually mentioned Axe. Now I was like, oh, okay. So he had Bloodthorn Axe.
Yeah. Okay, so Axe, Mirana. I mean, Terrorblade is really good against Axe in the mid game, right? Like once you finish the Skadi timing, you're really good against him. If Axe snowballs really hard though, there is a big timing that you can hit against the Terrorblade at minute 20 with the Shard Blink.
Then let's have a quick look at the bans as well, though. We've got the Dragon Knight ban coming out, which again makes sense because it's such a flexible pick. I understand why they wouldn't really want it to be available for the side of TNC. But the TNC are banning out this Lion, so what do you think their options are for another support?
They're probably looking. I mean, TNC banned Lion, I guess, to protect the TP, and Fnatic maybe want another stun. Probably some Lion's good because it offers a lot of damage. Like you could replace it with like a Lina or something potentially. How
about a Snapfire for Fnatic?
Ooh, I like that a lot.
I like the Snapfire.
Really good against Phoenix. Decent against Terrorblade as well.
They already have them around for the Phoenix, so I don't think they have to double down on like the egg killing necessarily. But I think Snapfire does still seem pretty good.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I would like to see another Chinese special against Terrorblade. Naga Siren is really good against Phoenix and Terrorblade as well. You don't really ever feel comfortable as Terrorblade against Naga, I feel like.
I have not seen a Naga being picked yet, so I actually would really like to see her being played. Then there's that Leshrac ban. Again, that one's not too much of a surprise. As well
Naga's coming. Lesh is really good against Naga.
You can feel it. They're just trying to protect her as much as possible.
5 seconds remaining.
If they do pick the Naga here, let's say it gets picked up here or in the next pick, is she going to be the key hero that they're going to try and revolve there? Oh, look, you picked the Snapfire instead. They could still pick up the Naga. But if they're going to pick up the Naga, is that what they're going to mainly focus on? They're not really going to care too much about giving the Axe the space?
I mean, if they pick Naga, it's going to be absolute last pick, I'd imagine.
Okay.
And they go Tusk. Alright, it's really good against Axe. Very good save. But we haven't seen a whole lot of Tusk, have we?
Only I think Neon were picking it. Yeah, Neon were playing it with Yanuel. He plays a sick Tusk, and he played a lot of the major. But I don't think I've seen other teams play it as much. But I feel like there's a good chance Fnatic want to leave this Axe flexible to the last pick, so they'll save that last pick either for carrier or
I think they'll
lane.
pick a mid now.
Yeah,
a mid here that's sort of flexible too, or maybe not flexible. Storm Spirit, right away.
Storm is not flexible.
A mid hero that doesn't have any hard counters.
It's really good here too. Like none of these 3 heroes actually threaten him past level 6.
Yeah, they see 2 supports with no stuns, so you feel really good about playing Storm. It's going to force TNC to pick something with reliable Storm catch, it feels like. And DK already banned out, so I like this.
Puck also banned out. What could they potentially go for? We have seen some Ember Spirits, which could be decent here. But it's
Ember
kind of a double-edged sword, right? Like Ember is good against Storm, but Storm is really good against Ember as well.
What if TNC picked the Naga here instead? To try and not allow Fnatic, but also not waste a ban, but also then they have an ultimate to try and catch the Storm.
I mean, if it was a top game, maybe TB Naga. That's a little bit greedy. I mean, we have seen in the past.
We've seen greedy. We have
Meteor
seen
Hammer Naga.
Yeah, we have seen it. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah,
+3 Naga, +4 Naga. We have seen it. It's
KP,
not impossible.
KP used to play that. That's a KP hero.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not gonna go
close,
with it. They're gonna
close.
go with the tiny. I think maybe we should have drafted for them and picked up the Naga there. But what do you think of the tiny?
It's
Give some much needed kill threat. Yeah, they need some damage like in the early to mid game. They can't while they wait for TP to come online because Tusk, Phoenix don't really provide that.
I'm a little bit worried for them though.
I was gonna say, do you think there's enough, space made with their draft so far for this Terrorblade? Because it feels like early game, they're really going to struggle, right? Because that Tiny still doesn't come online. He's not that strong in the early. Terrorblade definitely isn't. The Tusk still needs quite a few levels to get anywhere. What's going to be needed as their last pick to ensure that space for the Terrorblade?
Right now, I just don't know how they team fight ever. Like, Phoenix is super hard countered, right? You have Snapfire, Mirana. This egg is never going to go off. Tusk and Tiny, they can maybe make some plays happen, but once you blow your combo, that's it. What do you have after that?
Yeah, and we've already seen them struggle in the first game with showing that restraint, pulling back, resetting between fights. So to know that they only really have one opening window as their win condition for team fights and then having a reset, I do kind of feel for them in terms of their draft. Maybe they have something planned for the last pick we just have no idea about. But GoDz on the side of Fnatic, we're really liking the look of it. So what's the last pick what do they need in the last pick to round it out?
I'm still, I guess, thinking there's a chance this Axe goes safe lane. Just because last time they picked it, that's where it went. I think it's an okay Legion Commander game. You don't have anyone to buff up with the press the attack, but against the TB, it seems like a decent choice. They can run Legion with the Mirana, perhaps, or you want to have an offlaner that sets up the arrow. That's the other kind of play that we sometimes see.
Have we seen Fnatic Legion? We have, haven't we?
Yes, it's a death special. It is. He's played it at least, I think, twice, maybe even a third time. He's a.
Oh wow! Okay.
He's a Legion specialist.
Legion is good. I think Centaur could also be really good for the disengage as soon as they pop meta, or to get on top of the Phoenix egg. They definitely have some options. As you said, Axe could be carry, could be offlane. Very flexible right now.
Oh, look, maybe
Legion
TNC thought, maybe TNC thought the same thing, that Fnatic were leading up to the Legion, and they did the picking it instead of allowing them to pick it.
Yeah, definitely. Partly maybe a block pick for Fnatic, but of course, if they were worried about Fnatic, they did have two bans they could have used on it. But Legion with these hyper carries like TP is just always sick because that Ag Shard it's honestly one of the best Ag Shards in the game. It's so broken, and TP is going to be an unkillable monster. Plus, it gives them another way to catch the storm, which I think they just need in general. So, really good for TNC as well.
I wanna go back and quote you what you said yesterday. Do you reckon the Terrorblade's going to turn into a demon you don't want to F with?
He will. Ooh. Ooh. Well, I don't know if actually. I think that maybe not against Dark Warden. Maybe not. Ooh.
I don't want to see this again. I just saw this yesterday for 104 minutes.
Black, no. This time I'm not predicting a 35-minute game this time.
Oh my god. Tag me out, coach. I'm out.
Yep. Nat, you good to be an analyst for this game?
Oh, 100%, 100%. I love it. Black's like, I didn't want to see Nyx in the first game, and we got him, and now I don't want to see Awkward in the second game, but we've got him. I do have to ask, though, which side are you going to pick? Which draft do you like the look of? Doesn't matter about game length. I just want to know which team you think is going to be able to execute their draft better. You want to go first, Black?
I go first. All right, I'll be saying Fnatic. I like this Storm Spirit quite a lot. I don't really think they did enough to address it. Phoenix should not have a game at all. And Arc Warden have no problem farming down there either.
Yeah, I mean, by the way that you guys have made it sound, it's essentially just going to be a 5v4 at this rate. Fnatic have that hero advantage, but GoDz, where are you laying?
I'm going TNC. I'm hopeful for a game 3. I also have seen Tims play these like roaming Tusk and just wreak havoc. And I also think Raven's going to be spending a lot of time hitting creeps. Much like, if anything, I feel like TB can come online faster than the Arc Warden. So I also just don't like Arc Warden. I want Arc Warden to lose, so I'm manifesting a game 3. That's what I'm going to try to do.
It lost yesterday.
Well, there you go. And also the Axe, right? We've seen, we already said it, but Axe doesn't win a lot of games. And then knowing Arc Warden hasn't really won many either. I also would love it to go to a game 3, so I'm going to side with TNC too. I am going to ask time predictions though now. I'm going to put mine at 78 minutes.
78.
Anything above 60, GoDz can solo cast. So.
At 60 minutes, you're tapping out.
This is my limit.
Well,
I'm thinking, 65.
65. All right, well, we'll see who's going to get closer, but I'll let you guys take it away for game number 2.
I wish we'd book you for the past the full hour black, but hopefully, you know, I don't end up on my own for this one as TNC Fnatic game 2.
Well, really, like I'm having flashbacks from yesterday. It was not a pretty sight.
Was it a fun game at least? It sounds like the ending was a bit sad.
It was a fun ending, but all the way leading up to there, basically what happened, there was one fight, everybody bought back, and there was no fight for 8 minutes. And there was one fight, everybody bought back. It kept happening for like 60 minutes probably. The fights were really good, don't get me wrong, but the time in between, I was kind of like, what is happening, guys? Like, you can't just be farming creeps, you have 90k net worth.
See how this one unravels. From the picks alone, you know, definitely has the makings of a game that could go late.
Looking good.
See if that is going to be the case, though.
Which TNC should win? They have Legion Commander, infinite scaling right there.
Looking for me.
And scaling for who?
That's a good question. Who's gonna win the duel?
Everyone always says infinite scaling for Legion, and my counter argument is infinite scaling for your opponent. You lose the duels, they're scaling.
That's true.
Well, hopefully no lost duels this game. As Hawk's going to be playing the offlane. It looks like Tusk is going to be up there with him, Phoenix. So it's going to be dual melee against the Arc Warden, but Arc Warden not maybe the strongest laning hero.
Yeah, especially against like Snowball can be pretty rough if they get on top of him with Snowball plus tag team. You might be in a little bit of trouble. But Snapfire is pretty good against Tusk in general. You can just poke him out of the shards. Yep, and it should be fine as well.
Mid lane, we've got the Armel tying up against Chuan on the Storm Spirit. A hero we've had Armel play several times throughout his competitive history, so something he's going to be fairly familiar on. Down bottom, the Phoenix TB up against the Axe Piranha. Already early Metamorph being popped just to kind of secure the first wave. And we'll see how things kind of unravel. Any lanes you think gonna be kind of key for this game?
I just want to see how much the Terrorblade can farm down there before being relegated to the jungle. Like, there shouldn't really be much action happening top, to be honest. Mid lane, maybe if we get a tower toss, it could be a kill. So, any action lane should be bottom. Like, maybe a random arrow hitting or something like that.
Yeah, unless like someone like the Toss roams mid for a toss back, it doesn't feel like Storm should be in too much trouble. Maybe when the runes start coming out, that's where the support can rotate, but early on, it will be Axe testing the Phoenix pools. Already got the small camp pool, so that's a good start for TNC at least to get this pool going. As Jabs will look to reward the big camp, and we'll see if Boomy on the Phoenix can re-block that camp, since he doesn't want to give Miranda that easy farm with the arrow.
Yeah, only level 1 right now, though, to the Jabs level 2. So he has to be careful, he has no dive available.
Jabs maybe knowing this. Yeah, Jabs is going to leap and look for this kill. He knows Boomy just wants to die for it, it seems.
Oh, there's an illusion coming, though.
Oh, okay. Wow. DB helping out his buddy. Maybe he's not dead. Another leap in. Time the Fire Spirits pretty well here. He needs to maybe get a Tengu going. And it's actually Jabs who's used the leap charges, and he's in trouble. He's got one to go, so he may be okay after this. But that TB illusion play is absolutely sick.
Oh,
he didn't micro it up the hill, but that's where you need to share control, because maybe Boomy could have done some body blocking.
Yeah, that's why I like to pick Naga quite a bit. You just send these illusions on the supports, and your support is like, yeah, thank you.
Jabs at least is in a position to double stack. You can back the neutrals and ancients. As top lane, looks like they've made an aggressive play. Legion getting kind of low.
Aquarden
I feel like Phoenix should have maybe contested this double stack. Because Dabs, yeah, should have maybe known this was going to come.
I think so too. You just chase him because you can't really bully out the Axe right now. And these stacks are going to be very big for the Axe later on. He almost has his Ring of Health, so there's no real stopping him anymore at this point. Aquarden though, he only missed, what, 3 CS so far? So he is very rich himself.
That's a hero that can be hard to last hit with too at times. That's, I mean, he goes for the Quelling Blade and everything, knowing that he wants to secure as much as possible.
Yeah, this range Quelling Blade meta has really kicked off now, ever since the item was made cheaper. How's mid lane looking?
Mid lane, there's a rotation, there's looking for a tossback. Armel. I think the glyph was actually used to keep a creep alive there. And stop that toss maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but that, I don't think that glyph was accidental.
It didn't look accidental, no.
Or, I mean, I don't think, and I also don't think it was used for any other lane. I'm pretty sure he used it to stop Armel's tossback. That was potentially a really sick play from Chuan. Is the 4-minute rune coming up? Armel going to get a bottom with the avalanche. As bottom lane, Gabby getting chased away. Jabs. It's his way away.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be relegated to the jungle after the meta ends here. Don't think you can contest his Axe anymore.
Which seems fine, right? Like, you're not too worried if your TNC and TB's headed to the jungle at level 4, level 5, right?
Oh, yeah, that's completely fine. And Phoenix can just soak up the XP bottom. How's Aquarden looking? He's still farming very, very well. They're not really able to pressure him at all.
Yeah. You mentioned the Snapfire just able to secure this lane. Going, and something I really like, going for the Scatter Blast plus Fire Snap cookie build, not going for the little Shredder.
Stupendous.
Yeah, thinking much more about the lane rather than killing the egg later on. I mean, you can just get 1 level into Shredder anyway later on. It's the same purpose, the same effect. He's very close to his Midas already. 500 away only.
Definitely a scary thought that they've not been able to do anything to shut him down. And Legion not having the best lane, only 19 last hits. So, I mean, you're running dual melee against double range lane. That, to some extent, should be what happens. Like, you're not really... It's not like a pub game where you can just snowball on in on Tusk and...
Yeah.
To find kills. You're gonna feed if you do that. And there's cookie and stuff.
The only time you can ever really beat a lane like that, I feel, is when they're out of position and you catch them. But it's their mistake, you know? Like, you usually don't win this kind of lane by outplaying them.
Any chance we see Storm TP to one of these side lanes? He's healing up back at base. I wonder if he goes for any kind of a play up top,
He's
for
6.
example.
Yeah, he's tipping top right now.
Alright,
I expect this is the question.
Falls over the trees for now. They've got the wave back though, so if anything, Storm's been missing for a long time. They kind of know he's missing, but they're going to zip in onto Bok. Holds onto the press the attack for now, but the Snapfire cookie stun is going to be there, and Bok gives up the first blood.
Yeah, very good rotation from the Storm. A couple of stacks to clear as well if he wants to do that. Maybe he's going to leave it for the Arc Warden. But his rotation is very good because it also secures the Arc Warden Midas. 80 gold away from it. After the small camp, he should have it.
That is pretty damn good timing for an Arc Warden Midas. This is a hero that normally doesn't get given the best laning stage. We're going to see a similar TP down bottom. It's the Tiny from Armel making the same play the Storm did. Can they kill this Death Axe?
He's way tankier though.
Yep, it is going to be a phase boots Tiny running on in. Go for the Avalanche toss here. Can Death survive his way through this one? Can't go for a TP because he didn't have the mana. I think if he had the mana for a TP, he may have been able to just TP in front of them there and survive, but he gets brought down.
Yeah, and Gabby never went to the jungle actually. Managed to sustain himself in the lane. The pair of tangos that was delivered from the courier. And he's very happy with how this is going. He's actually out farming the Axe, which is pretty rare.
Evading though. Tiny comes in, doesn't hit the Avalanche. Mirana quick on the fingers with the leap, and now Swan looking for a turnaround. Can they land an arrow here? Armel trying to dodge it, but it hasn't actually been thrown yet. The toss back as Tims rotates in, and Tiny very tanky here. Can't really be brought down. He's trying to come back in to contest these stacks, but unsuccessful in doing so. As the D-Ward did end up happening, and things will settle down.
I'm a little bit worried for his Legion commander. Like, you pick this hero to win the lane
Is under attack.
and have a decent mid game, but he's getting pretty much nothing here. Still level 5 as well.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Well, we'll see what the answer is going to be, because you've got to imagine, yeah, Raven's just going to continue to accelerate on this Arc Warden. I mean, I guess TB versus Arc Warden late game. Obviously, I mean, TB doesn't really have an answer to the bubble without the MKB, but is it a terrible matchup for TB, or is it playable?
It's actually not that bad anymore ever since Swift Link was introduced. You have a very reliable way to get on top of him. And you didn't have that before Swift Blink because you didn't want to litter your inventory with just a Blink Dagger. So this late game scenario is a lot more manageable now than it was before. It's still pretty rough, especially if you don't itemize into the BKB, which we have, not BKB, MKB, which we have seen some Terrorblades do. You just can't hit them at all through the bubble. But we'll see. Like, I think it's just a must-have. Like, you need MKB. There was this one game where In Your Dream chose not to build MKB, and he missed so many kills just because the enemies got bubble, and he couldn't hit them.
Yeah. That's the thing, it's not just the Arc Warden who's getting bubbled, it's his teammates as well, so...
Yeah.
We're going to see Gabby TP up top. I was about to say, I mean, similar story with the very farm-centric game, but unlike previous games, I feel like neither team has made that rotation to the offlane to try to take a T1 tower yet. Finally, we see Gabby TP up there with Metamorphosis, so it looks like TNC will be the first to make this move. And Fnatic seeing this may make the same play down bottom, but it does feel like this is coming a bit later.
Yeah. But it was a very good rotation because Storm was actually moving down there as well. So he dodges the Storm and gets the top tower. Which is the area he wants to end up in anyways, because he can farm much more efficiently over there. And Arc Warden is not really a hero that can pressure a tower or defend a tower this early on.
DJ looks for the deny, also reveals his position. I think he's hoping to go for a cookie out up top. Has a TP, yep, cookie TP. He knows the exact spot to go to hide, and Bok looking for him, doesn't find him. Sneaky play, doesn't get the tower denied, but definitely worth going for there for DJ.
Yeah, he didn't really have any other play on the map anyways. Region rune on Storm now. That could potentially be a playmaking tool.
By the way, big Ancient stack on the Fnatic side.
Yeah.
And he already farmed out most of the Radiant stacks, and...
He needs to clear that soon. Because Arc Warden can't farm those.
Yeah.
He's going right now, actually.
Top lane there. Waiting to see if DJ pokes his nose out, but he knows it's not a safe place to be on the map. And this is where you kind of mentioned, you know, TB TPing top, taking this T1 tower means this entire dire jungle area is now kind of TNC place to farm. That's where the TB is going to want to play as much as possible.
Yeah, and this is really also why Terrorblade is so popular. Your Conjure Image can just push out lanes way further than other conventional carries could. And him and Naga are really the only ones that can do that. Sure, Naga, they're gonna be a duel.
They thought about it going in with the Ice Shard, but when they saw the TPs and thought better of it.
Yeah.
Now look at the T1 bottom tower. So a bit later that Fnatic got tower, but they've managed to pick up a 2k gold lead after farming their Ancient stack. So Axe, Blink Dagger queued up, has 1500 gold.
And that's gonna be the timing they're waiting for. And Storm is gonna be picking up his Kaya. He's going Kaya Sage relatively early, I'd imagine. Just to be able to survive through the duel and the tiny combination. Because they don't really have a whole lot of disable for him, right? Other than the duel. There's no great lockdown. Like an Avalanche, not really what you're looking for.
Level 25 tiny, triple toss. That's where the lockdown is.
I hate that down. Like you never land.
I mean, I'm sure the smart money is on this game. We will see a level 25 tiny, but before then, we're going to see a Smoke King from Fnatic.
He's going to get caught out here.
Yeah, he has Sunder available, but this should be a kill here. They've got the Mortimer's Kisses. They throw them out, and Gabby gets pulled back in, goes for the Sunder, but Xuan knows it's coming, so he just zips over it.
He could have potentially lived if he microed his illusion away and Sunders the illusion instead. But it's a very hard play regardless, because Storm still had a lot of mana. And
there were still more kisses too. I feel like even if he gets that Sunder off, he still dies.
Yeah, it's like a, 5% sort of play.
Amel invis in mid. Gets the toss back into the Avalanche duel.
Nice combo.
That's going to be a nice pick-off, not letting him get any leaps off.
Yeah. I like this itemization from the Mirana actually. Going Treads, really tanky, 1200 health. but not enough to survive there.
This is a build. Ooh, hold on that thought. Armel goes charging in forward with the phase boots. They want to get this DJ Snapfire that's been so problematic, and with an avalanche toss, they got it. TNC with numbers in the mid lane and a Metamorph TB. I like the aggressive play, getting the TB involved before this Arc Warden is ready to fire.
Yeah, fine. That's what I want to see from TNC. Like, this is what they're really good at, and this is what I love them to do. And now they're invading the triangle, taking the big creeps away from the enemy, probably getting a deep warden as well. Because the Dire lineup is quite greedy. Like Storm, Arc Warden, Axe, they're pretty greedy as a Tricore. And you gotta punish them. Like that they had 2k gold right now is actually a little bit of a problem for TNC.
Yeah, they've just had no answer to what Arc Warden's been doing, farming away. This Fnatic will go for a smoke. They've already lost his mid tier on top, but another kill on Gabby would be huge. From the Storm, there is a Sunray heal. Hook the follow-up, it is going to catch the Southern Gabby, but where is Death with a blink call onto 2? The follow-up arrow is going to bring down the TP before he can even use the Sunder. Death with the perfect initiation plays, chasing, looking for more, but the snowball is there from Tim. Just to stun the activate, still getting lower. Dunk should be coming soon, and Death is going to be looking to use this movement speed to chase for more. The Kisses going to clip a couple of these heroes, gets Boomy low. No, it's all the egg going to be used with it. All from Death. He does make a nice little turnaround play with Armel getting the Mirana kill, and that will force Fnatic back, but they've already lost their TB for a second time back-to-back. Is there anything to stop Raven's TP? Armel's toss was 1 second away, and Death with a blink dagger. He blinks south, dodges the Tiny, and should be able to get back to safety.
Yeah, a whole lot worse. Good recognition here from Raven that he can just TP out. Spells on cooldown. If he dies there, it's really bad for Fnatic, but the way it went, Terrorblade dying once more. And you don't really ever want to be on the back foot against Arc Warden.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, doing that TP 1 second before Toss was back up, he knew the exact time where he could get that TP off successfully.
Yep, a little bit later, and you're gone. Axe also managing to blink out just in time. There's a smoke coming in, though.
Find the Axe, Avalanche Toss. The second they respawn, they were chasing out these Fnatic heroes in this bottom jungle. And they find the Death Axe, who had a great blink call in that last fight to make sure the TB didn't get off asunder.
Yep, calling them out on their play, I like it. They showed on 3 lanes Fnatic, that is an unspoken rule of Dota. You can't do that and get away unpunished, and they don't.
Yep. Well, if TNC continue to make these aggressive plays, that's the TNC playstyle that we're usually used to, and with a blink dagger up on Armel's Tiny, you got to imagine that's at least somewhat the plan here. They can't afford to have Gabby continuing off, as we've seen. They need to create space for him by playing aggressively on this map.
Yeah, Storm Spirit with another region rune. Terrorblade has died here once before, has to be a little bit careful. There is some backup, but now he's being left alone. Mirana ult is activated.
What can they do with this one? TV's already hiding in this top lane, and Mirana kind of down here alone, but it's the main fight around this river where Xuan has to zip himself away, but Armel's there with an avalanche into a toss. They get the pull, but the Death Call is there to try and bail the Storm out. It doesn't buy enough time because there's a Walrus Punch to try and finish him off, but he gets out after the punch finishes. The egg damage not enough. They were trying to get the kill on the Storm and couldn't do so without the jewel.
Yep, Kaya Sanj. Power of 25% status resistance.
Yeah.
Such a good item.
Plus, yeah, the strength you're getting from it as well.
Yeah. I love this itemization from him. Like any other item there, he would have died. 100%.
Oh. TNC unsuccessfully when finding these pickoffs, and it's not for lack of trying. I mean, we kind of asked, we raised the question. Mid lane, Storm zips him from afar. The arrow is going to actually miss because of the Vortex pulling him a little bit further away. And now the blinking call from Death going to be there to secure things as Xuan gets another kill. It is TNC playing the way we wanted them to play, but it just feels like Fnatic is just always one step ahead, and TNC's rotations in place aren't succeeding.
Yeah, coming out a little bit short every time. And the gold lead is steadily growing. 4k now. 5k up to the mid tower. They're not in a good spot right now. This Arc Warden is getting way too big. Sure, Terrorblade is getting farmed as well, but that's why you picked the Arc Warden to begin with. Answer that problem. Level 13 on the Arc Warden, closing on 14.
That is scary stuff.
Tiny is just 12. And Storm, also 14. Actually, we haven't really talked about Storm's farm. He's just as farmed as a Terrorblade. Big problem for TNC here.
And then meanwhile, the Tiny has had that Blink Dagger and been trying to make plays. Hasn't died. Armel's having a solid game, 2-0 and 3, but not enough for TNC in some ways, as Xuan does a nice job stealing the power rune, denying that from Armel, and gets back to safety.
Looking for me?
And it's an amazing rune for him too. Arcane Rune Storm, there's probably nothing scary at this point in the game.
TNC continue to try to play aggressively around the same part of the map. It does still, you can still see TNC, you know, feeling confident, like they're the ones who should be playing forward on the map, even with the 5k gold deficit. They know this Arc Warden would prefer to keep farming, so they're always hunting for these kills, it feels like.
I just don't think TNC feels comfortable teamfighting ever. Like, this Phoenix is really just a non-factor. Like, in a lot of these teamfights, he doesn't even want to egg, because he knows what's going to happen. There's Mirana itemized into Dragonlance, Power Threads, just to deal with the Phoenix even more. We have one level in Shredder. How are you ever going to get an egg off? It's just not going to happen.
This is the build I've seen from these SEA Miranas so often against Phoenix, and then they usually go into like a BKB next if they want it to.
Yep, and then they take the leap attack speed talent rather than the arrow cooldown, and they just kill that egg.
I guess this Phoenix's job is not going to be about the egg in these fights. It's just about the Sunray more than anything, which I guess they don't really have the best way to cancel.
That is true, and he's also itemizing into the Holy Locket just to amplify the heal a little bit. The pace of the game is not good for TNC. 6k now. They're just steadily getting out-farmed.
Out-farmed, of course, yeah. All three cores, really, as Storm works towards an Orchid, and that's going to be something that, yeah, like, these TNC, not just supports, but even the cores don't really have a good way of dealing with. TB working towards a BKB, that feels like the big time for TNC. When TB gets his BKB, they need to be taking objectives and trying to get themselves an Aegis.
Yeah, I mean, he feels pretty strong right now already, but Arc Warden already finished his Mjolnir. It's gonna be a tough fight no matter what, and Fnatic knows that, smoking up now. If they win a fight, that's straight into Roche.
Yep, they're looking for that wraparound. They've got some good vision behind this top lane as well. Who's the jump going to be on? TNC looking to back off a little bit. They don't want to get caught here. Storm could go for a zip, but it's TNC who smoked themselves up as well. Tim's immediately pops it, but he gets helped out by the pressing attack. Gets the snowball off. The Cole's going to miss. The Kiss is raining in from above, but a good place for the egg. There's nothing to actually hit it for now. The bubble's there to help protect the axe. Gabby looks for a new target. Death gets out of it. Caught by the egg stun. Falling back into Xuan, looking for the kill onto Bok. Will get him with an immediate buyback. Axe wants back in on this fight. Xuan on the axe. He's out, on the Storm. Is out of mana.
Raven's
as Armel getting brought so low, and Jabs is going to go leaping and looking to finish off these kills. Armel, he gets back to safety. He needs to blink out, but the bleeps. Jabs, he actually snipes the Tiny. And now Storm is trying to get the hell out of it. Doesn't have any mana to play around with. The Arc Warden, he gets chased down. Gabby's just doing too much after getting the Sunder off. He gets the Storm as well. He's killed off both the carry and the mid. Gabby doesn't have a Sunder though. Now he's in trouble with the death buyback on the axe. It should be enough to help bring him down. The Cookie Sunder is there, and Gabby, no dunk to worry about. With the Storm buyback, he's going to be picked off, and Bok himself on the Legion Commander, he just brought back. This could be a dieback for him. Fnatic once again, similar to last game, using these buybacks so well. It's a triple kill for the Storm, and Death on the axe buying back to make sure they had the lockdown to win that one.
Yeah, good news for TNC though. Like, this Terrorblade has gotten a lot of gold, and finally they do manage to kill the Arc Warden, and Storm had to buy back. So next time he dies, he's going to be on the side lanes for quite a long time, which is giving them a little bit of a window of opportunity here. 700 gold to the BKB now for Terrorblade, and he's going to be feeling very strong after that.
Would you say, I mean, in some ways it sounds like you're saying TNC even almost won that fight? Like, it was a 5k gold difference before and after it.
Yeah, but I mean, sure, the Legion Commander bought back and died again. And Phoenix just died to Arc Warden. Well, he just ran into him randomly. That feels bad. But TB got a lot of kills, a lot of experience, and Arc Warden finally got shut down. Like, if Arc Warden survives that game, his gold lead will grow to like 8k or so. That game, sorry, I mean, that fight.
That fight, yeah. Well, next fight, Storm's going to have an Orchid, it looks like, as Xuan, even after the buyback, managed to get some key kills and set himself up for pretty scary timing. He's at level 18 now.
He's playing so aggressively too. He's just jumping into 5 heroes. He knows how tanky he is. With Strength Threads and the Essence Ring, he's sitting at like 2.3k health-ish. Plus magic wand. There's no way to bring him down like, quickly. Question now is, do they feel comfortable taking on Roshan with that BKB on Terrorblade? It's a tough fight.
Perhaps another big timing for TNC coming up is going to be this Ag Shard on the Legion Commander. That's going to give them a nice little reliable save that they can turn around on Fnatic.
Still quite far away, unfortunately. And Axe is itemizing into Crimson Guard. I like that a lot. Like, the only damage right now to have in this game is Terrorblade. And it's going to be mitigated by a lot once you have this Crimson Guard.
Look up, they see Death in this mid lane. Are they going to go jump for the jump on him or look for someone else? He's taking a while, he's not getting the spins. He couldn't get the blink off in time. As Tiny goes blinking in, they get the Sunray follow up with the duel. They want to get him in. Meanwhile, Armel on the backline is looking for the Snapfire, throws him back in. Gabby has got the Metamorph out, he gets the 2 kills quickly. The egg perhaps being used a bit unnecessarily by the Phoenix there, thinking a bigger fight was brewing, and TNC looked to be headed towards the Roche pit.
Yeah, there was an Axe buyback. He's dead for 60. It was a little bit unfortunate, like Axe turned around just as the cookie came, otherwise he would have been over the ice shards, resulting in his death. And now that's a Roshan, that's the pace TNC is looking for. Abusing the fact that Raven doesn't really want to join fights yet. Very close to a Skadi though. Once that's online, he's more than ready to fight.
It feels like, yeah, TNC have, game plan wise, have played this game perfectly. They've been behind pretty much for most of the game by a small bit of goal, but they know they have to keep playing aggressive. It's like a lot of teams, I feel like, in their position would have just sat back and tried to farm, but despite losing this early game, they are constantly looking for the next fight, looking for the next opening to try to take Roshan, and they finally get it.
Yeah. They are going to have some damage problems for a while, so I really want Gabby to double down on the damage after the Skadi, perhaps.
Perhaps that's where the MKB comes, because we mentioned against the bubble, it feels like you do eventually need that MKB.
Yeah, like if you initiate on an Axe, for example, and he just gets bubbled, he's not going to die. Unless you have that MKB. Well, I guess they could get like an Axe Scepter or something on Tusk and kick him out of it, but it's pretty gimmicky and not really reliable.
That's it. It sounds like you're asking for quite a bit there. They've got the toss, so maybe you can toss someone out, but and not maybe the most reliable. Here come Fnatic, though. They're smoked up, looking to invade this Radiant side of the map. Play around this Skadi timing. Every time they get a new item, like the Mjolnir first, this time the Skadi, they're making these plays. TNC playing around this T1 tower. Ooh, jabs his invis.
Korea saw them.
Shouted with the Radiant, yeah. And they had the sentry too, so.
Yeah. And they didn't kill the courier because they thought,
Armel?
we're invis here.
Oh, Tiny.
Armel's. Okay, yeah.
Oh, I guess he didn't get spotted.
It was so close. But he has the sentry ops there.
Yeah, he's playing around his ward. He's actually looking to blow up jabs, it looks like. Has he got the damage for this?
Ooh. I don't think it would have been enough either way. He's too tanky with the Dragonlance threats.
Exactly. That kind of looks like, oh, why did he take so long to Avalanche? What's he doing? But he probably wasn't getting that kill.
I mean, he needs the double hit, and then Avalanche toss, and then another hit and the tree throw to even have a chance of killing him.
But even that may open. It felt like more than anything, he was waiting for that power rune, because he was just camping there waiting for that 26-minute mark, and he gets himself an Arcane Rune for a potential team fight, which... Arcane Rune, yeah, I mean, you mentioned Arcane Rune Storm. I feel like Tiny's the same thing. Having that reduced cooldown on Avalanche Toss could be a game changer.
100%. This next big pickup here from the Storm Sphere is going to be the Lincoln Sphere. After that's up, they have literally nothing to stop him anymore. Legion Commander doesn't have the gold to invest into any sort of Lincoln's pop. So it's going to be very difficult once he gets that Lincoln Sphere. Because Terrorblade hates playing against both Storm and Arc Warden. Like, you kind of got to deal with both problems. Might be a little bit too much for him in the late game.
The Fnatic side, I like what they do there. They give up the tier 2 top tower and outposts. Hold that thought. Yep, it will TP out, makes it out. Jabs gets back to base. But they had the Storm cutting the waves at top. So they basically block any chance of TNC's ability to continue pressuring this top side of the map once they lose their creep waves.
Yeah, it looked very calculated too. He was waiting there for like half a minute or so. But good news is the gold lead isn't growing, right? Been at 5k for a long time. I don't know if that's good news or not, because I do favor Fnatic in the late game quite a bit.
See if TNC have a way to play these late games any better. But these are definitely the two SEA teams who have
Dire's middle tower is under
the,
attack.
I guess, most late game experience and most veteran players. So if TNC have some better answers here in game number 2 compared to Fnatic, who got the better of them in game 1.
Middle tower is under attack.
The clone running in from behind. Gabby has a lot of problems with this. Look at the damage he's taken. Oh, this feels bad.
Boy.
Yeah.
With the Scotty slow as well.
Aquarden is such an obnoxious hero. Both these teams have always been sort of the gatekeeper of SEA, right? Gatekeepers, rather.
Yeah, at a point, you know, Black, you were the gatekeeper of Southeast Asia.
I know.
Legion tries to find the storm. Look at all
Let's not
faces
talk about
stays.
that.
You guys were the kings of the SEA, you know, qualifiers, but
Then we go internationally and we're
oh,
like,
it
what
kind of ended there, yeah. You know,
We literally would not
But,
lose a single game in the qualifiers. When we go international, like, huh? What? How do we
and
play
TNC
Dota?
was the team that you guys would always beat because TNC would do really well in international Dota, and you guys stopped them getting to a number of lands.
The SEA community was pretty mad at us. They're like, why are you always
Yeah.
picking out TNC? You're failing so hard
Yeah.
in international.
It's like if you're gonna qualify, at least do well, you know.
I'm
But
trying
we've
my
seen a
best,
lot
I
of
promise.
SEA teams. You know, SEA teams have you know, made a much bigger name for themselves. TNC winning a major, you know, T1 at the recent major, getting top 3, doing really well. So it's definitely been a, you know, a successful year for SEA Dota.
100%. They're on the radar now. I mean, they have been for a while, but mostly for Chinese teams, who have been poaching them for, what, 2-3 years now?
Yeah, that's the thing. You go back to like Singapore Major in the finals. You know, it's like there was what 4 SEA players in that grand finals with IG and EG,
Yeah.
Radiant's
but nothing to say on PSG LGD. So SEA players being represented all over the world.
Yeah, so 8 said they're mostly going for Malaysian players because they naturally speak Chinese as well.
Yeah.
I would say the same
That's
about
always been
most
the big-
Singaporean players, though. Like,
Right. I mean, there's just less
Nuts.
Singaporean players, right?
yeah, there's not a lot, unfortunately. Like, you can probably count them on one hand. Who's playing right now? Ice and Def? Is that it?
Pelosin is on one of the teams.
Oh, Polosan? He's also Singaporean, that's true. And I guess Ponlo? He's also playing, right?
Hold on.
Okay,
He's
so
not
we have
playing in these
4.
qualifiers, but yeah, he's playing. Yep, there you go.
Not bad.
Those are the ones I know at least. You know, for a while there were players like Nuts and stuff as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, a lot of people are just kind of disappeared without ever saying anything. So, maybe we'll see them again one day. The mystery comeback.
Radiant's middle tower is under
I mean,
attack.
when's your comeback happening, Black?
You don't know what's happening behind the scenes.
You're pulling some strings.
All the strings are pulling me. I'm not sure yet.
Here we go. TNC looking to pull on Fnatic strings as they go for an initiation here, but a quick jump out from
Nice
DJ.
cookie.
And yeah, Cookie's over the shards. Great reactions from him. Gets the blink and then the cookie. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Clone's just causing problems here.
Well, we
Gets
didn't
the
ever
tower
speak
down.
about it, by the way, but there's also Arc Warden against Phoenix with the bubble.
I honestly, we didn't speak about it. I also just didn't notice because I just, in my head, I was like, okay, this Phoenix is already counted. So I wasn't even looking for any other
He's
counts.
just dead. Leave him alone, guys.
I don't even, I think he's better off just not even casting egg
Yeah.
team fights until it's like, you know, only if there's like one hero on it.
Until he's level 18 with the Agon and Scepter. Level 25, actually.
Oh, arrow? Okay, gets perched off immediately.
And the clone,
I
though.
want this clone.
I mean,
It does a
this
bit of
just
damage.
feels so
but-
bad. You need 4 heroes to kill a clone that is off cooldown in 5 seconds.
The gold Black, it's still only a 5k gold difference.
That is true. I mean, at least Terrorblade and Arc Warden are neck and neck. You gotta think, though, that Storm Spirit just scales way better than a Tiny Wood.
Yeah. This gold difference has been the same since the 18-minute mark, so TNC have been, yeah, like you say, mostly keeping up, but will the scaling be there? They go for the full Hurricane Pike on Gabby, so no blink yet, going for positioning from the Pike.
And
As
before
well as an MKB queued up.
also, yeah. Like if he doesn't go for the full pike, he would have had MKB already for the next Roshan, which will respawn in 10 seconds, which could be a very, very big deal.
Yeah, a bit of a unexpected pickup for sure, and it was something, at least initially, it looked like he had the blink queued up and changed his mind.
Yeah. So what do they have to do with Arc Warden? It's really only the Tiny that can get on top of him. Maybe the Tusk, but it's very risky.
Well, already in. Go for the pub strat, 5-man snowball on top.
Into Axe call, woo! There!
Here we go. Moonlight Shadow, Gabby. He's perhaps in a dangerous position, but he feels like he's got the back. I mean, he has got the backup. He's got a Legion command behind him, so and Fnatic know they can't go on him. And DJ, does his blink get cancelled here? Avalanche tosses there, can't cook you on out. Death goes for the blink call, but he blinks into an Avalanche. They get the dual kill as well. Instant buyback, and TNC find the snowball to keep their TB alive after he gets arrowed. I think he was more than okay with the health he's got. They back off to the high ground. They've committed the Metamorphosis for this one.
They're going to the pit.
They're going for... Roche is already back up. I feel like they just killed Roche. Nothing's happened since they last killed Roche Black. What the hell, man?
There's no way they're getting this for free, right? Like, you know they're going for Roche with this meta. Like, you need to do something about it.
He's Shadow Bladed. He's going to pop this, or at least scout them out. The arrow comes flying in as well. Legion walks into it. Uh-oh. Armel's still looking for the backlines here. They throw the egg out. Can they protect this one? Raven in there with... Oh, God, that egg just melted in no time at all, but they're going to take casualties. Axe goes down. Meanwhile, Bok on the Legion command after taking the arrow dies as well. Raven, his clone, going to die first. They want the Mirana, who gets the leap away. It stays alive for now. This TB Metamorph is wearing off, so I think TNC has to be a little bit careful. They're still trying to finish off Roche. They feel like they've got enough time before Fnatic gets back, and this is so risky, and they're going to realize they can't do this against the Storm. Storm balls in. Luckily, TNC had already gotten out for the Tiny. He gets caught. The press the attack going to bail him out. They get the catch with the Warrior's Punch. It's the damage there. The call from Death. Axe saving the day. He wants Armel, but he gets a Shadow Blade off before a dunk can come in, and Death may pay the price for saving his Storm. Storm out of mana, TP's back to base, but this may have secured TNC Roshan. Luckily, Fnatic, they pull Roche out of the pit. And Raven with his clone here.
Be careful, Gabby!
Yep, Gabby helped out by the pressy attack. I'm not sure they can do this. The Storm's back and is more or less full mana with the clarity.
Like, you
At this rate, Meta's going to be back up.
Clone up.
He needs a lot of things though. He needs a Satanic, he needs an MKB,
he does, yeah.
He needs an Aegis.
Oh, this Roche should be Arrow?
Arrow's going to scout it. Catches an illusion, but this could set things up for the Storm. Need it perhaps.
Yeah, it's a lot of inventory space right now.
Oh, they waited a second to blink it. It's Raven's clone that goes in. Meanwhile, jabs on the backline. He steals it. Good news, I guess, for TNC is that the Storm doesn't get it. And yeah, DJ's dead once. They should be able to get him a second time. They lost the Tusk in the process, but he instantly gets stalled on respawn. And Gabby with the BKB, TB. Nice steal from DJ, but I think the Storm really wanted it, and Storm may be thinking he could have had it.
Yeah. At least he took Shard. So it's a little win for them.
True.
And it means Terrorblade doesn't have the Aegis. A lot of buybacks still expended from the TNC side. So probably still another small victory for Fnatic here.
One of the cool things I feel like TNC intentionally do that, when they get scouted by the arrow, they stop hitting Roche for like a couple seconds, so Storm mistimes the jump to steal Roche. Because if it's like you can see how fast it's dying, so they stop hitting it for 2 seconds, then keep hitting it, so Storm jumps when it's still at like 5% health.
Yeah, but then they didn't really do anything about it. And Mirana was there, Storm was there, and they both hit Roshan for a good 2 seconds.
The high ground we go. TNC feeling like they can poke at these buildings.
And MKB's up.
Yeah. The bubbles, though. We've seen this story before. He doesn't want to send his hero into this bubble. He's like, yeah, I'm good. Zip is there, but there is a siege wagon. And with the press the attack magic immunity, Gabby still holding strong. I feel like it's going to be so slow to take this rack zone with the respawns. Yeah, TNC have to back off. The bubble is just...
I hate
they don't have an answer to it.
Every time you hear it, you just know, no, we ain't pushing this Rex. Spell Prism. Who's gonna get that? I feel like as though Terrorblade would love that one, to be honest, for the meta cooldown. It's gonna be the Tiny taking it.
We'll see what other items they can find. Okay. Leveler. Juicy.
Well, you can't really level the base though. If Arc Warden's there.
It's caught in the mid lane.
Punk. That's actually going into the Hellbird. Yeah.
Oh.
Little bit.
Okay.
I mean, it's a decent investment, but you already have the evasion pierce on the Terrorblade. So maybe a BKB or something is better?
I was gonna ask is what item does make a difference for him.
It feels like every fight
DJ
he's
down
getting
bottom.
stunned by something randomly or sundered.
TNC have to address this bottom lane. They're trying to trade up top, at least by going for the range track, but they are going to TP back to come defend. But this tier 3 tower should already be dead. They glyph it, but the high ground they should reveal that they have a high ground ward here. Raven just trying to finish it off. The uphill misses, as well as the, I think, maybe some backdoor protection there kicking in.
I'm getting flashbacks from yesterday. That's exactly what happened yesterday all the time. TB top, Arc Warden bottom, both hitting Rex. Both TPing back.
TB did get the range tracks, but that doesn't really change much at all, to be honest. It gives them some gold, that's about it.
At least the creeps will be pushing in a little bit faster. So they have this like mini edge. Not really
If there's
though.
no heroes up top, it'll slightly push Dire's way.
Yeah. Which, you know,
What's the
maybe
play
both teams are waiting for Roshan. Keep helping a little bit.
Yep.
Almost Satanic now in Terrorblade. And then he is Arc Warden ready. But are you Storm ready?
Trying to see if there's any other big items coming out. Looks like both teams got a pen-to-edge sword.
Radiant's top tower.
Yeah, flicker. Oh, flicker on the Radiant. Yeah, that's always a big one. Looks like TB is going to be taking that. Always nice because you can go bootsless with the flicker. It feels like that
That's
seems
an
like
edge
one
sword
of
on the tusk. Just so you can get the Walrus punch from a higher distance.
nice. Some bonus damage too.
Yeah.
Dire's bottom tower.
Sure.
Gabby is feeling
Yeah.
mighty strong right now. But I feel like he's really not. If he gets pulled by the storm and arrowed, he's just dead. You do have a snowball save, of course, but a little bit risky regardless. Storm now with the blue hole, as you guys called it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Okay.
Top tower gone. And Arc Warden is closing in on this 25 talent that is really, really strong.
Top tower.
Everybody's favorite.
Double.
Yeah.
Yeah. Higher duration, then the cooldown. Why not?
Balance in all things.
Yep.
So.
Did you know that he has a 40 attack speed talent on 15 as well? Arc Warden.
I do
It's a
now.
lot of attack speed.
Armel gets the Avatos on the Storm, but he's got that.
So tanky. 3k health.
They don't have the luck. They need the triple toss. That's a kill with triple toss, though. So that's something
100%.
at least TNC maybe have to look forward to. A level 25 Tiny can punish Storm, or even someone like an Arc Warden.
And Discount Phoenix now also. I feel like just don't egg. Like, at all. Like, you're more survivable without the egg. Fuck. Like, do they have any way of piercing these Lincolns? No one has anything. Nothing. They have a Hurricane Pike and a Thunder, that's it.
Good news when you can maybe stop this Gabby Sunder in some of these team fights. He's now picked himself up a Swift Link.
Not Satanic.
He is essentially 6-slotted at this point.
Yeah. You'll have to sell something for Satanic eventually, though. Because otherwise you really just can't siege. Yay.
Flicker now on the Dire. Yeah, BJ in some trouble here. Gets found. Link gets cancelled, and there's going to be an avalanche to find him. TNC, it feels like playing this game really well.
They are. It's kind of crazy to think that they're on the back foot since the start. The way they've played.
I mean, that's the thing. If anything, I feel like I would disagree. I haven't gotten the impression watching this game at any point that they've been on the back foot. Other than the gold difference, they've had a free farming Arc Warden that they haven't really pressured, but they're always the one making the aggressive moves.
Yeah, I mean, that's I guess what I meant is that I thought they would be able to pressure the Arc Warden a little bit more.
Yeah, they're on the back foot in terms of, there is a sense where Fnatic at least have like a, maybe 55, 60% chance of winning this game if you had the win probability.
Yeah, I mean, this game is still anyone's game, just like yesterday. This is exactly how it started. Oh no. Well,
But none of us thought this game would go less than 60 minutes, I don't think.
well,
see if these
luckily
teams
I
can prove us wrong.
have my shift ends in 17 minutes. No problem.
I'm just like my therapist. The hour's over. See you later.
Yeah. but I still have nope. Bye.
Well,
he's going satanic now. And he's gonna be dropping what?
Pike or
This is Saint Joshua,
right?
but playing against an Axe. Honestly, just drop that BKB. Who needs that?
yeah, BKB? I mean, good this game, but maybe maybe this tank's better. Constant pressure on this bottom lane. Arc Warden will finally get the opening to take out that tower, and meanwhile the rest of Fnatic are smoked up, making a move down this middle lane. Roche respawn is in the next 3 minutes, so we'll find that out soon.
Yep.
Fnatic perhaps with that in mind. They're smoking up, but there's a dire ward. They see everything. They finally scouted on the TNC side, but they may just get jumped here if they're not careful. Dire Scan is trying to figure out what's going on. Bok would be a dream target. They want to take out this Legion commander. He's the one who has all the save, but TNC themselves smoke up after dewarding. But Gabby reveals himself perhaps by planting an illusion. Yeah, Fnatic ping that. They know exactly where Gabby was. That illusion just appeared out of thin air. But they realize that TNC were smoked up themselves, but top lane, there's creeps. It's the super range creeps, Black. They're pressuring the melee racks. They'll force Raven back, but he's got cooldown reduction and Tempest doubles, so...
Okay, so the big problem yesterday of why Trust lost with the Arc Warden, I feel like, is the main Arc Warden was just AFK in Fountain for literally 60 minutes. Like, he did not move out of base. I think if you play Arc Warden at this stage, you need to be comfortable enough to position yourself with both Arc Wardens, not just your clone. Because otherwise you're only playing 50% of the hero.
You're literally twice as strong with both, so...
Yeah. And yesterday we've just never seen it. There was no fight with 2 Arc Wardens, ever. Just the clone, repeatedly.
Oh.
But I've seen so many situations where with the clone, he would have gotten maybe a Rex, maybe a hero kill more, which would have helped him close out the game.
Well, right now it's a very tactical chess-like game. Storm was zipping through bottom, clearing the creeps, so constantly TNC have to go back and address this bottom lane, which they're using Gabby's illusions to do a pretty good job of. He may be considering, like, oh, I guess he can't. He doesn't have room for the boot to travel, so he just wants to push out with the illusions as Roche respawning in 1 minute. Both sides going to be constantly looking to scout that one out, and Fnatic. And I'm going to go for a Moonlight Shadow play here. But Armel is camped under a ward. Should be able to see this one.
DB's the ping.
Armel, he goes in aggressive. Has the BKB, but gets caught before he can perhaps pop it. The Pressy attack is there to bail him out a little bit with Box. BKB Jewel, he goes in, he wants the axe here. Armel trying to turn and fight this one, has a BKB of his own. There's the egg, placed very defensively with the Sunray. And with that one on Raven's clone, I believe they're going to have to bring that one down, and Raven doesn't have that Tempest double to fight for a couple more seconds, but he's got it back up now with that low cooldown and long duration, so if either team's able to go back in, TNC with that vision advantage, that ward on the high ground. 2 wards around this top side of the map, causing all kinds of problems. Gonna jump in, DJ, he just melts. Quan with the blue hole, catches out 2, pulls him in, TP's dead, doesn't get a chance to thunder. Tiny dies as well, great jump from Fnatic. They're making this work when Boomy gets sunk through the A on Disc and Storm, zipping in, bowling, looking for more as Tims can only blink himself out of there. And now TNC have a tough decision to make. Do they buy back to potentially contest Roche, or do they just let this one go and try and hold on to these buybacks?
Roche is in 5. And that's the 3rd one, I believe. So there is going to be a refresher shot, which is massive for both the Storm and the Axe.
Yeah.
It's like a double call or a double blue hole, which is win the team fight straight out.
They still have enough time on these respawns. They can take Roche and potentially also go for some kind of a high ground play to force these buybacks.
Yep, and there's a DD bottom. If the Storm picks that up, it's going to be massive for him. He'll be doing so much damage. Double, in fact.
What went so well for Fnatic in that fight?
I mean, they just reinitiated without BKBs on the heroes, right? Like, Tiny didn't have it, Herobay didn't have it, and Fnatic made perfect use of that. They jumped the support. Sure, DJ died, but you have 0 defensive tools. Herobay just got blown up from, what, like 2k health? He wasn't even full health when he went in.
No, yeah, Axe got, I think it was a call on TB and Tiny. If they don't have the Legion there for the save, it feels like, yeah, things can just go so wrong quickly for them.
Yeah, this bot Rex. This new Swift Blink on Arc Warden also is so incredibly powerful. Like, it just gives him so much attack speed and damage that usually you would lack mobility as well.
Radiant's courier
Abs-
has been
The
killed.
good news
Oh,
for
Gabby's
TNC is they don't
refresher!
have the these buybacks.
Maybe lost refresh on the courier.
I don't know if Fnatic would have seen that it was a refresher on the courier, but they know something was perhaps on it.
And he's still not going satanic. I really don't think you can play this matchup without one. Now he has it queued up again, but it's the 4th time he did. Bought like 3 other items already.
And that's why Arc Warden's so popular against the TB. It feels like you need too many items, and there's too many tools the Arc Warden has against the TB to make this matchup so tricky at times.
Yeah. I'm also wondering if Arc Warden's gonna drop the Hurricane Pike for like an MKB or just more damage in general, like a nullifier. But it feels like he doesn't really need the Pike anymore. He already has mobility with the Swift Link. More damage would be more optimal, probably. Same with Terrorblade. Like, he doesn't really need 2 mobility tools, right?
Buy something, Sitting on 12k gold, whether it's an Ags, it doesn't even have the shard.
Moon Shard, yeah.
Moon Shard, yep. Moon Shard, Ag Scepter. You got money. But at this point,
you could also buy a Moon Shard for your Storm. Could be a good investment.
Probably thinking a little bit about what is the item going to be. Doesn't want to just jump into something. Maybe there's a better option for it.
19k lead, 12k sitting on Arc Warden, so basically not really that big of a lead at all.
I've been wanting
It's true.
But they threw in the Arc Warden clone.
Okay. Storm follows up looking for a zip zap. As Raven will lose his clone and Storm's just going to ball himself out of there.
Armel used BKB, but he was completely safe.
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe afraid that there was going to be a follow-up, like the electric vortex in the arrow or something. I mean, they do have Box Legion. His job is going to be always to save that press the attack to help his team out.
This combo is very, very strong, actually, to gobble up into the Arc Warden clone. And what is the cooldown? 40 seconds? The clone is 35 seconds, so it's almost identical.
Constant pressure on the base here coming from Fnatic. Aegis still up for a minute and a half. Not that it's like, it's not like the item that allows them to push high ground, because it is just an axe, but... If Fnatic make another play, it seems for now they're happy just to build up on their lead and poke at these buildings using the Arc Warden clones.
Yeah. Arc Warden clone flying in again?
Yep. He's gonna force the Phoenix to just dive away. Do kill it.
But mind you, this is exactly how yesterday went. Like, there was like a 30k gold lead for the Arc Warden team. And then suddenly Terrorblade team just came back. And then they had a massive lead. Went back and forth, kind of. But you're feeding a lot of gold away also if you're not getting these towers.
Yeah. Look up from Fnatic. And they find a good jump here.
MKB on Mirana. He's so rich.
He sees the direction this game is going and it's like, yep, I'm going to be another core for us. Gabby and Armel. Storm zips in, pulls the Tiny. Tim is there looking for a snowball to help him out, but the Tiny gets the BKB off. The right clicks coming from the Arc Warden on the low ground. They're going to get the Jewel out. Axe may go down here, but he's got the Aegis just for this very purpose. So, just an Aegis. Can they kill him a second time? Armel has an Avalanche perhaps waiting for him as he respawns. The Sunray there doing good damage as well with the Egg. Can they kill the Supernova? I don't think so. It's positioned well on the high ground. Death's going to get pulled back in. He goes down. The Egg popped. It stuns everyone. They overcommitted trying to get the Egg, but a great Vortex onto 3. Oh, Fnatic. They catch everyone, but they're dying in the process. They've overcommitted here. Gabby's TP doing too much damage. Schwan, he tries to TP up, but he gets caught. Tim's with the Blink Walrus Punch. He stops the TP out. Raven's going for the buildings, but he can't do much more. 5x coming in from TNC. They've stopped Chuan's TP. They know this Storm can't TP out, but he's got a lot of mana as Bok does end up going down. Gabby doesn't want to chase too far without the Sunder. Has the Swift Blink, but Storm's still alive even though his TP got cancelled. What a team fight coming out of TNC.
Yeah, very good high ground defense. Was it a buyback expended on the... No. It was way earlier where Legion bought back. But yeah, good hold.
Support spot back.
And
Radiant's courier has been
it was costly, but this is sort of what they want. Like, they need this next item on this Terrorblade. And then he's gonna be the big raid boss.
Raven just trying to do Arc Warden things.
Yep.
He'll
just hit buildings. Actually, yesterday Arc Warden got like one of the best items to do this kind of thing. He got a Stygian Desolator, minute 61. buildings died so fast.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Raven just chilling on this cliff. He's found a little like treehouse for himself, I would say. You know, he's just gonna be chilling, making his clones up here near the enemy base, feeling protected by all the wards, feeding away gold. Exactly.
I feel like we kind of need a separate gold counter whenever there's an arc ward in the game.
Phoenix Boomy realized where he is. He had lost his Aeon Disco, and now Schwan on the storm.
He has no
Comes to
buyback.
Phoenix, this is a dieback. Still died. Wow, Fnatic love what they're seeing. I like the team tips. We saw this earlier when they were tipping Schwan as well.
Yeah, gotta get the team morale up. He has a Bloodstone and a Kaya Sage.
He has all the mana in the world, and he is incredibly tanky.
Yeah. This doesn't actually stack, does it? Bloodstone and...
I don't believe so. I'm not sure.
Wait. 100% mana region amplification, level 50. I think it was changed that it doesn't stack anymore. Maybe it does, again. Who knows? It's Dota.
No, I'm a Dota pleb. I never get this far in black to know. Poor player here.
I think
We
most
don't
people
get to
never
know
get
those
this
things.
farmed. Like 50k net worth is pretty ridiculous. Or 30k on Storm even. Almost never happens.
Even with the Phoenix pickup, it doesn't lead to a whole lot. It does force TNC to play very defensively, sheltered in their base, and they may keep having their buildings get poked at by this Arc Warden.
Bubble up.
Another toss in. Carmel was there ready for it, though. And he's trying to keep it alive. The Storm zipping. Look at the arrow! It catches Bok on the Legion. Okay, no, we're fine. There's no follow-up.
Fake hype, fake hype.
Bok has to be careful, though. Yeah, fake hype. I'll throw in a WoW next time, don't worry.
Wow!
When I see a 5-second arrow hit at 55 minutes, I'm thinking, oh shit, this could be bad. Abby forced. They keep getting forced to blink on this clone. Blinking with a 2-man vortex. The follow-up is there. Death with the call, but the snowball save. Nice plays by the Tusk. Abby holding his own here. Now they get the jewel. It's out onto Jabs. Jabs in trouble. He's just going to die here. They get the Mirana. And Phoenix is respawn now. He's got the egg out in the middle of things, and nobody's hitting it. TNC lose their tiny though.
Oh no! Get me out, gods.
Yeah,
Happening. 2 days in a row. What did I do?
This is like, I mean, you have the. This is every. I mean, you have 100 minutes, but it's like. By the way, we started. This is the third best of 3 of today. We're in game 2. We started the SEA broadcast like 12 hours ago.
Yeah, I know.
And we're only halfway through our third best of 3.
I woke up at like 9 AM my time. I was expecting, you know, second game of the second series. What? Third game of the first series? I went to the gym, I went to the store.
If they're 2-0 stomps, it's like, oh shit, suddenly you're starting early and you're like, alright, gotta go, gotta be ready. But no, it was, I think 8 hours for 2 best of 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has been wild, these Southeast Asian qualifiers. Honestly, I'm absolutely loving it though. Like, it's been a nice, refreshing look, like seeing the discipline from these SEA teams, even if at times it is, you know, incredibly cautious.
Will this then be the longest qualifier finals we've ever had in the history of Dota? Potentially.
What's the best of 5 just be like a 3-0 stomp with 20-minute games? Like, we've had no 20-minute games, and suddenly it's going to be like, oh, by the way, here you go.
Yeah. I think the last one we had was like on day 2. Or day 1. Actually, I think it was day 1 with that Broodmother game. That was the last stomp we had, right?
I think you're, yeah, the last series of the day, yeah.
Yeah.
With the, I think it was Neon versus Trust, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the earlier series, I think, on day 2 yesterday were, we had 2-0s at least, but the last 2 series yesterday were 6 games long.
Yeah. Slowly but surely, range
It's
records are falling.
$40 million, Black.
Yeah, I know.
You know, Fnatic and, you know, Raven's teammates are more than happy to sit through another 100-minute game with an Arc Warden on their team if it means getting a TI.
Do you think every time Raven calls for Arc Warden, the entire team is just starting to sweat? And they go, oh no, not this again.
I think they're pausing to go to the bathroom to make sure they can last the whole game. But here we go, TNC, they've smoked up. They're on the low ground. Death is going to kind of scout them out here. He blinks through and over, but Armel's there with an Abbott toss. Not sure where he's heading. He's got multiple toss charges. The triple toss allows a duel as well, and Death goes down. I'm not sure where he was headed with that blink. He's forced to buy back now. Raven could be next with the clone. Looks like Gabby's just going to burst it down. Just the clone, though. As DJ and Jabs are in full retreat mode, they're going to be careful here. Ace is on DJ. Does have the A on this, but could be in some trouble. There's a detection. Doesn't look like they have it. Boomy elsewhere, and the Phoenix goes down. That's once again the Storm making these plays happen. He uses his entire mana pool to get in and out, and he gets himself an Arcane Rune.
And Roshan is up, with all 5 heroes of Fnatic being alive. Well, it looks like another freebie, and this one has everything.
We're kind of at that point, I feel like, often in 6-minute games, the Aegis just feels less impactful because you don't have a hero with slots for it. Like, you're giving it to an Axe, which may be better than this plate mail, but it's not like a massive power spike.
Yeah, I realized every time any Fnatic hero dies, anywhere, they instantly buy back. I wonder if that's like something the team spoke about or not, because it's really instant every time.
Yep. Armel making some way pushing. Something TNC haven't done so much is, that kind of split push, but they're going to look to jump in. Tims goes looking. They want this Mirana, who does get jeweled up, even with the BKB, gets chased and caught off, and the backline is going to be the Tiny. The tosses, they have the Storm, double toss, triple toss, quadruple toss. It's just toss after toss. With the Spell Prism, they bring him down. No instant buybacks this time. They realize they have messed up and do not want to just throw these buybacks. They're going to give TNC some space to push out lanes. Gabby, ooh, there's the Satanic you mentioned. He needs it.
100%. And, I mean, this is pretty much the final inventory you'll see. Maybe, I think you could still replace the Pike with, like, a Daedalus. First he's going to buy Moonshot.
I'm pretty sure that was 4 tosses from Armel. He timed them, spaced them so well that one charge came back.
What's the cooldown of it? Like, you can't even see the cooldown anymore because it got charges now.
Yeah.
Did you lose anything? No.
If he uses one, you can see how quickly it comes up. Like, it was like 6 or 7 seconds, it feels like.
Yeah, it's definitely very low. I think it's 9 seconds, and with the Spell Prism probably also just, what, like 7? 6,
With that
something?
said, maybe I just don't know how to count because I am a college dropout after all, so
It's fine. It was still a lot of tosses, and Storm died. That's all that matters.
Yep. Storm does it buyback. TNC looking to force it. They've got to know that these heroes have buyback, it feels like, but either way, they want to make a play here. The Kiss is coming out just to try and clear these creeps. Gabby getting helped out by the press the attack. Onto the high ground we go. There's a toss back onto the clone. Just stopping some of those bubbles. In the front lines, has got the Aghanim, has got the Demon Zeal.
I really don't like that he's just sitting in base with the real Arc Warden again. Like, it just happens every time I see an Arc Warden. Using
afraid to
like,
die.
half the hero. I know he doesn't want to die.
The rack here. And Storm doesn't want to buy back as well, so they may give up a second lane if they don't buy back on this Storm. The triple arrow looking to come out, but Gabby is still forced to be reckoned with on the front lines here. They didn't manage to kill the Tiny. Armor got the BKB up. He Shadow Blades away, and now the egg stuns up as well. Catches Raven on the Arc Warden. The Storm goes zipping in, catches 3 with the Vortex. He wants to zip, looking for more. The TB dies. He got isolated. The Storm catching the backline meant TB was alone. They go for the gobble up play onto the Axe. The TP out from Tims. The call is there though. Tims gets picked off as well. Fnatic, they bounce back. Did cost him a Storm buyback though.
Yeah, there was the last second really that he had to buy back. It was definitely nobody wanted to do.
This series, it has a feeling like we could be headed to Game 3, Black. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I know. I'm very happy.
These teams, I mean, the history they've had, Fnatic and TNC, the top dogs of Southeast Asian Dota, and I mean, it's not just these 2 teams, it's all these SEA teams in the top 6 who have put on a show for everybody tuning in.
They smoke up right away. They want to deliver the killing blow here, potentially. But if they lose the Storm, they might just lose this game, because Axe also doesn't have one.
Link up with the clone once again. Raven just trying to go for the buildings. Pushes himself into the bubble, getting it low. Yeah, without the TP, they do struggle to
Well, it's
deal
up in
with
5
those
seconds again.
clones.
This Rex is gone.
mean, I think TNC have made a decision to let it go, though.
Oh, he threw the creep next to the Rex, so the backdoor protection is not online.
Raven. No backdoor protection for now, but they'll just triple toss it. You can see the cooldown now. When you have got the tiny, you can see how fast those toss charges come back up. It looks like it's about 8 to 9 seconds.
I remember yesterday there were so many pauses too. Give me some PTSD.
Well, by the way, we're at 62 minutes. We haven't even talked about it. Black, tier 5 items. What's going on? We got a ballista?
Where are they? Do we have any yet?
Only Fnatic. TNC have none, so there is a
you have a ballista. Oh my god, on Arc Warden, let's go.
They have a Book of Shadows, which is not picked up.
That one is really good though, potentially. You could literally just put it on the Terrorblade and he's just useless for 3 seconds.
Yeah. And the Force Boots, which Mirana is currently carrying.
They are so shit.
You think so? I feel like some carries, like TB would love some Force Boots because...
Yeah, but he would also love anything that gives damage.
True.
Or an
I feel like
Machina.
These carries... There was a game where Lifesteal of Force Boots won them the game, okay? Having the Dispel as well as giving you an extra slot, not needing to have boots, can be really nice.
But how about just Ex Machina? You get 2 BKBs, 2 Swiftblings, 2 Satanics on a 25-second cooldown. That sounds good.
That does sound good. Not
25
to mention
armor.
You get 25 armor. The fact that item gives 25 armor, I mean, that actually won a game yesterday. Yeah. Yeah.
What else is there actually? Let's see. Giant's Ring. Not impressed. Ballista. But Terrorblade is still S tier. Probably the best item in the game for him. Fallen Sky. I think it's also S tier, honestly. It's one of the best items in the game. Stygian Desolator? Like, the damage number seems a bit underwhelming. What do you think? 60.
On Deso, yeah.
Like, 10 armor is good. But 60 damage is kind of like, eh. Not that much. If it was 600, though.
Ooh. Kind of like change TV's game. Yeah, especially when it's tier 5. You know, it's like, go on, give it like 100 damage, maybe.
Yeah. Or Mirror Shield, of course. We didn't talk about that. Absolutely amazing.
Against... Yeah, I mean, for Dire, perhaps, against like stuff like the Jewel, which is causing problems. I mean, maybe the Storm can replace his Lincolns even.
Yeah. They don't have any hexes or anything like that, do they? They don't.
No. Phoenix, by the way, he's... we were saying maybe he shouldn't egg in these fights, but it feels like he's actually... Boomy's playing these team fights so well. I've seen Egg go off. The fight they won at the top racks was because they overcommitted on his Egg and they couldn't kill it. Yeah. But even the other fights, he's just putting his Egg in a really safe place and just using the Sunray.
I mean, I like it a lot too. Like, I actually thought he was just gonna feed, but he only died 6 times this game.
Looking for me?
And it feels like he's got one of the hardest jobs. So definitely, really impressive play coming out from his Phoenix.
Yeah, and now TNC, they gotta get out of the base. They need tier 6 items.
Yeah. I think they'll get a chance to now. The Storm has no buyback. If anything, it's Fnatic who have to play safe. This tiny triple toss has changed the way this game looks because suddenly TNC do have the lockdown to find these kills.
Stygian Desolator. They have a Seer Stone on Dire. Is that good on anyone? No. Terrible.
The scan aspect maybe, like... Yeah, he replaces his telescope because DJ... I mean, the telescope is not bad. You get the low cooldown and scan as well as the cast and attack range, but...
Yeah.
50 cast range on a Snapfire, that almost doubles your cookie cast range, though.
It does. I mean, it's not terrible, but you're not like a Zeus or something.
Also, the gobble up cast range. That actually doesn't sound all too bad, right?
Sure. I mean, if you can save some of it, it would be really good. But most of the time, he's just throwing clones in, and then the fight starts after. Who's getting the Stygian?
Approach to these fights.
Or Tiny is keeping the Stygian. A Seer Stone as well for the Radiant. That could be really good. Imagine a dual range.
Yeah. It looks like, yeah, Legion's getting it. I mean, as well as the press the attack range, which is an AoE press the attack.
Yeah. What does it give again? Does it give mana regen? It does, right? 10 mana regen, okay.
Yeah, what are we looking at?
And like... triples his mana regen pretty much. From 10 to 15.
What do you make of the Book of Shadows? I was talking a bit with Ponlo about this one. This seems like just always a bizarre item that...
I feel like it's really good, but it's difficult to use. Like, it can mess your own team over, but but it can also win you a team fight. Like, you can save a teammate with it. You can disable an enemy with it. There's a lot of things you can do, potentially, with it. It's just very hard to use. And you rarely ever get a chance to practice it. 2060. Doesn't really happen a whole lot. Who has it right now? Storm. Because they don't have any ground target damage. That means whoever you book of Shadow from your own team, they won't die.
Allies disappear.
Not to mention, 400 night vision could be helpful. It's, you know, you never know
the
when that
book
could
also
actually
gives
be
it, yeah.
situationally really good.
What's the attack range of the Arc Warden now?
900.
975. Because everyone is a sniper nowadays.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, Sniper sees all these neutral items being added and just like, come on, that used to be my thing.
Yeah.
Good deal.
But a sniper with Ballista, on the other hand, becomes an even better sniper.
Maybe at some point there's diminishing returns, but here we go. TNC smoke up. Just the Raven clone.
They gotta kill that
They're
one.
gonna ignore it. They're gonna bypass this. Smoke does not pop on the clone.
Yeah.
But a Shadow
Why
Blade
not?
now as
They
well.
should buff that.
Black, shut your trap. We are not buffing Arc Warden. Are you watching the same game as me? Do we want an Arc Warden buff? Do you want to see more? I mean, this is crazy Dota, but I don't think we need Arc Warden every game. Here we go, jump in, they get the vision, they look for the arrows, they're not going to connect immediately. Armo gets helped out by the pressy attack, TP in now coming from the boots to travel too. I think Terrorblade was looking
scanning
for that. Yep, they get the scan that allows the blink call, they catch Armel's tiny, is the pressy attack there. Bob BKBs to help Armel out, the kiss is raining in from above, Boomy's
getting destroyed?
and with the Sunray they lose the axe. That Sunray just doing too much, Armel gets away with the Shadow Blade. They're going to lose the clone now as well, and TNC have bested Fnatic for now in this team fight.
X no buyback for 10 seconds! Wow!
They timed that. They knew.
And they wouldn't have
You can
base
see
if it didn't have it.
Seer Stone there, you know, it gave them some vision to go for when you want to breach a high ground.
bait
Like,
themselves.
if you have a Seer, yeah, it's like if you have a Seer Stone, you definitely want somebody to carry it for that vision aspect. Like you give it to a support.
Yeah, you could also siege high ground with it. Good. I like it. And we have a Fallen Sky on the Tiny now.
Happy to just
We need a Terrorblade
Realizing
item. We need a Ballista.
have they
Like,
got
you
any
can't have one
items left?
Ballista and
they've
not on
got
the other
one
team.
left.
It's just unfair.
Yeah.
You know, yesterday Terrorblade had a Ballista and Arc Warden didn't.
So maybe the
Arc Warden just
Ballista is
couldn't
the winning
fight
ingredient.
anymore. You know? It's... Imagine TB with that meta range, 25 plus Ballista.
They want to go in, but the bubble is there. They get the vision on the back lines here. The arrow actually catches Fox Legion. He can't save anyone for now. The follow-up Vortex is there. Jabs just goes leaping in, looking to do as much damage as he can with the BKB Mirana. He finishes off the Tiny. Death gets sunned up on the axe, and they've taken out two. The triple arrows just wreaking havoc. Usually you don't see this. Usually you see the mid-lane shadow cooldown, but these arrows are landing and making a big difference. Tusk, he gets the blink after the snowball, but he's still going to go down. And TNC going for a big high ground push, get punished.
And Roshan spawns in 5. Every time TNC lose a fight, it's just before Roshan. Like, it was like the 4th time now, I believe.
Well,
They didn't have to force this, right? Like, they wanted to do this.
yeah, and I mean, the TP doesn't want to get too far deep, so once that bubble's on the racks, it feels like there was no killing it anyway, so Fnatic will just get themselves a roach and still have time to perhaps force... Well, I guess maybe not force these buybacks. In 50 seconds, we'll see if they do go for some kind of a play down the TNC side of the map.
Did they ever end up getting the last neutral item? No. They need that one. The Ballista would be so good. Like, having Ballista on TB against Axe, he just can't ever reach you. He just keeps getting knocked back. It's really stupid.
Yeah, they're going to have to rely on the lockdown if they ever want to deal with this Arc Warden, it feels like. First buyback coming out on the Legion, wanting to make sure they have that save available.
Ah, the Arrow Starfall proc the Aeon Disc of Phoenix. It's actually a pretty big deal.
Okay.
Radiant's middle barracks.
And Raven with the BKB on the high ground. Gabby just getting pushed back. Now he gets pulled in. He gets helped out by the Presti attack, though. Now he gets pulled up, and with the Satanic up. Oh, into a call. They get him with the Jewel. Axe Death. He's overstayed.
Yes, Ghost.
He's welcome in this Radiant base. Now the kisses come raining in. DJ trying to cover him for the retreat. Jabs in the front lines with the BKB. They're going to force out an egg. Can they actually kill this Phoenix in time? Boomy, he goes down. He has the buyback immediately. TP forced to buy back. Bok just dying. This Ballista. Raven just unstoppable, keeping everybody at bay. They have to get on top of Raven. This Ballista is just doing too much.
Yep, way too good. The fact that Terrorblade doesn't have one is just so unfair. He needs it.
Feels like one of those games where, you know, Iceberg might be watching and be like, yeah, maybe Ballista was a bad idea, you know? Much like anime, maybe it was a bad idea.
Anime is great. But what do you think about my idea? Okay, I hold that thought. They're still waiting here. Bok, no buyback. This could potentially be the game-ending push.
Yep, now they leave Seam for now Fnatic playing it safe, fishing with arrows. They get the vision from the Seer Stone. They jump in on Armel. Where's the save? They don't have it. He didn't get the BKB off. It just came right as he died. Instantly buys back. Raven is just his clone committing for this, so it's not really much of a commitment from the Fnatic side. They get another range rack, and they force a buyback. That's the thing. They just keep on forcing buybacks and losing nothing in the process. It's so hard for TNC to play without this Legion commander press the attack save. Raven trying to maneuver around these tosses. Gabby going in. Got to be careful. The Vortex is there, and he's just dead.
No
That's a dead TP. Boomy forced to egg because an arrow was about to hit him, and they're just going to focus down this egg as well as Armel, who's getting low as well. This could just be game over for Dead. It's about to be a team wipe, and Fnatic, they've done it black. They get the 2-0, an epic best of 3 going the way of the kings of Southeast Asian Dota region. They may have not had the results they were looking for during the DPC season, but Fnatic kind of pick up where they left off. A team that has been at every single TI since TI3. Well, they were at TI3, they were not at TI2, looking to make their way back there. They're in the grand finals. They're not at TI yet, but this game was a big statement, it feels like.
It was. Like, I want to tell you something right now. Okay? I had the exact same game yesterday. Same scenario, same everything. The biggest difference is Raven. Like, he played with his main hero and his clone. You just saw how heroes exploded when he was hitting them with both. It was super well played, and I don't think a lot of people actually have the capability of microing both to the level that he did. So, very well played to Fnatic. You don't have a 1-0 lead in the finals from the winner bracket, right?
No. No advantage, other than getting to sit back. Well, there is an advantage. That's actually correct, and there is an advantage. You get to sit back, watch your opponents, and your opponents have to play that lower bracket finals before the grand finals, so it's a much tougher road. But yeah, great play from all Fnatic. Very patient game. They get the win in the end. Guys, a lot to say about this. Hopefully we get a chance to talk to some of the Fnatic boys about playing another crazy 60, 70-minute game, but we're going to head to a quick break and bring Nat back in to break down this series, and we still got one more best of 3, so we have that to look forward to. Stay with us.